hopefully. Good evening, ladies and gents, wherever you may be around the world, and welcome to Splendid Isolation number 277. Been doing this for a while now. As always, to give people time to join the stream, I'm going to start us off with a tune.
Take up the white man's burden, send forth the best ye breed. Go bind your sons to exile, to serve your captives' need. To wait in heavy harness on flooded folk and wall. Your new gods sullen peoples have devil and have child. Take up the white man's burden, in patience to abide, to veil the threat of terror and check the show of pride. By open speech and simple, 100 times made plain, to seek another's profit and work another's gain. Take up the white man's burden, the savage wars of peace. Fill full the mouth of famine and bid the sickness cease. And when your goal is nearest, the end for the sword, what's love that heed and folly? Bring all your hopes to naught. Take up the white man's burden, no tawdry rule of kings, but toil of serf and sweeper, the tale of common things. The ports ye shall not enter, the roads ye shall not tread. Go make them with your living and mark them with your dead. Take up the white man's burden and reap his old reward. The blame of those ye better, the hate of those ye guard. The cry of those ye humor are slowly towards the light. Why brought ye us from bondage, our loved Egyptian night? Take up the white man's burden, ye dare not stoop to less, nor call too loud on freedom to cloak your weariness. By all ye cry or whisper, by all ye leave or do, the silent, sullen people shall weigh your gods and you. Take up the white man's burden, have done with childish days, the lightly profit laurel, the easy ungrudged praise. Come round to search your manhood through all of thankless years. No age would give what wisdom, the judgment of your peers. Take off the white man's burden through all of thankless years.
And that was, of course, the excellent Chris Gard. If you like good music, and particularly if you want to listen to good music from a good musician who is on our side of things politically, which is to say the right. Go and check out Chris Gard's YouTube channel, and you can also follow him on X, on Twitter, where we are also live at the moment. Now, I put out a little tweet earlier, gents, and it wasn't a tweet that I put out with any great seriousness or cared much about. And all it said was, if I can even find it now, the USA is 250 years old. England is way over 1,000 years old. No offense to Americans. And it's now got 63,000 views. And I have blocked a dozen Americans so far for being rude to me in my notifications. And if someone's rude to me, I just block them. I don't give a fuck, really. I'm not going to get in an argument about it. But honestly, it wasn't even meant to be offensive to Americans. But it's amazing how many of them are really upset that England is older than Australia. That England is older than America. It's weird to me. I don't understand it.
It's certainly a lot more polite than all of my tweets about America.
Yeah, it's very strange to me, but it's gone a bit viral. I mean, I don't get many tweets that get 65,000 views or anything like that. So, but honestly, if you're listening to this, Americans, I wasn't trying to slag you off. I was merely pointing out a fact that, England is a lot older than America.
That was humble bragging, like.
Really? Was it? Okay. It wasn't meant to be. I actually, by the way, guys, if you're listening to this in the chat and what have you, I did invite my American friend Aubrey onto this stream, but she's probably at some party or barbecue or something, given it's the 4th of July in America. I do actually have American friends, believe it or not. And sometimes, as Farian will confirm, I end up in my Discord defending Americans. So, it's really quite strange.
I've got your post here. Can we go over some of these responses? So you've got Average Honky here in your response to saying that America is 250 years old. Mohammed is the #1 boy's name in England, according to the official name.
For now.
What does that have to do with it? And then one of them, this shit, and yet we kicked England's ass. No offense, England.
Yeah, I've got a lot of that.
Okay.
I did bother pointing out to a few people that the Americans did get quite a lot of help. They did have the French and the Spanish and the Dutch all fighting on their side. And also, it might be said, a lot of liberal British people were also on their side. There were British admirals and generals who wouldn't serve against against the rebels in America because they were Whigs, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I've had real life interactions with real Americans from my time there who, and you get this shit a lot on the 4th of July. They sort of, I've been approached and said, do you Brits spend every 4th of July like crying because we kicked your asses? We don't even think about you.
The only reason I know it's the 4th of July is because I see an American saying something about it. I don't care about it at all. It was 250 years ago, for fuck's sake.
I will say that Independence Day, it was a great first film, but it didn't need a sequel.
The second was a bit of a disappointment, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's true. And The Patriot was fucking awful. But anyway, whatever.
The Patriot did give us that
Independence Day, by the way, Americans.
Yeah, this was. We're talking about the Alien movie, yeah. I was actually. Well, the Patriot did put a Nazi war crime and say the Redcoats did it. But whatever.
I just like it because it gave us that laughing redcoat meme.
Oh yeah, that one's.
That's the one part, the one good part of it.
I do like that. I have to say, it's about the only good thing you can say about it. I was actually on this stream, I was gonna wish our American cousins a happy 4th of July and 250th birthday, but I'm not sure if I will now because so many of them have been whinging in my notifications.
From Libcuck Kryptonite, Jesus fucking Christ, with a profile picture of J.D. Vance. Is that what your great-great-grandfather said as he surrendered at Yorktown?
My great-great-grandfather was born in 1908. How the fuck was he going to surrender at Yorktown, for God's sake. But, you know, oh, God. These idiots, honestly. I mean, I get it. Americans think 100 years ago was a long time. I know that they do.
They are aware that this is the 250th anniversary. It's not, this is a very, very strange thing.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. I mean, okay. Why is it a criticism of America to say it's 250 years old?
Yeah.
Because it's not, honestly, I didn't mean it that way.
And people think, and people think Jews are neurotic.
Indeed, well, that's a good point. Yeah, you know, I mean, Israel's only 1948 or something, isn't it?
Oh no, it's promised to them 3,000 years ago.
Yeah, so 3,000 years ago. Okay, yeah, they make England look fairly young, of course. Yes, I've had people saying, "Oh, England's over 1,000 years old. What about Chinese? I don't give a fuck about the Chinese."
Yeah,
frankly.
they're a very ancient. They're a very ancient civilization. Okay.
I mean, if you go by the Mormons, the USA was promised to the Anglo 3,000 years ago. So, I mean, that one I do choose to believe in.
Brigham Young. Yes, I think that's who it was. Oh, I don't know, honestly. It's just weird to me that people can get upset by something which is just a fact, you know. But whatever. Like I said, I would point out to Americans who are getting upset about my little tweet there, and do go and look at it, guys. I'm quite happy for it to go viral. But you know, you did have the French on your side. That came back to bite them in the arse a few years later with the French Revolution. The Spanish were on the American side. The Netherlands were on the American side, and so were most of the Whigs, the liberals in Britain. The people who were against the American rebels were the British Tories, the right wing. And also, I would just say this to Americans, many of whom have been going on about, oh, Britain's going to be a caliphate in 10 years or 20 years or whatever bollocks they decide. That's not going to happen. And also, British demographics are actually much better than American demographics, guys.
Yeah.
Particularly if you don't count Latinos as white, then the Americans are way more fucked than the British are. But, you know, whatever.
I saw this Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas. He was on Fox News. I saw this clip of him on Fox News bitching about all these Muslims building this giant Islamic center somewhere in Texas. It's like, oh, gee, if only like you were in charge of Texas and could do something about it.
Yep.
But no.
Yep. I'm also pretty sure that there were various like Democrat lefty states who had Somalian flags all over the fucking place the other day. You know, so I you know, these Americans who want to go on about, oh, there's too much Islam in Britain, which I agree there is. Those guys should go look at their own bloody country, you know.
A lot of it is distraction. I feel it's pushed as a distraction for the American public to make them think things aren't so bad for them. Yes. When if you look at like all the stories we sort of hear like from Britain that every day, that happens every day in America too, across all these cities. Like their murder and rape rates are way higher, but I don't know,
by a small demographic, by the way.
But it's the same here, you know. It's like
if you look at American crime rates, if you take out certain minority demographics and you only look at say white heritage Americans, their crime rates are pretty much the same as British or European crime rates for the same group of people.
But that's without us taking out our immigrant data. Like the American crime, the murder rates are so bad.
But it's only a small
but it's the same with us.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's even
exactly.
I think with America though is that the country's so big that white flight can happen. You can't really do white flight in Britain, so it'll get to a point where everyone's going to be eye to eye with it eventually. There's still enough pockets where that doesn't happen. Anyone who votes Liberal Democrat, basically. So that vote will wane away, I'd imagine.
Yeah, we have less space to move. Like my family as anyone who knows anything about Britain who listens to me can tell that I was born in southeast of England, and I was born in the middle of South London, and none of my family, like my extended family, none of them live in London anymore. Not a single one. They all moved out. But there's not so many places to move out to. Like my father moved to West Sussex.
And I think in America, they get that full sense of security because they can just basically find a new frontier and build a new town.
Well,
but look at Texas. Yeah. So many Californians are moving to Texas that Texas might actually become a democratic state eventually. It's not really the Californians, it's the Latinos.
Well, Texas is already like really Mexican.
Exactly. Yes.
Really, really Mexican.
Yeah. So, racist white flighters from California are actually going to inject a little bit more red into that state, but it's still going to be.
Yeah, some of them will. Yeah, some of them will. Don't forget California. Back in the days of Ronald Reagan, California was a Republican state.
Well, I mean, only 20 years ago they were still voting quite hard line on particular policies. The thing is
Clint Eastwood, wasn't Clint Eastwood the mayor of some town in California? A very right-wing chap on the whole.
Well, yeah, I mean, he did make Gran Torino and American Sniper, so.
Yeah, I guess. American Sniper's not that bad, but
it is a bit.
Is it really? I mean, I only watched it as a war movie.
I just can't be bothered with a lot of American war films. It's like, oh well, we bomb this country and then we feel bad about it, and I'm like, well, no. Like,
why? The thing I loved most, the thing that I remember most from American Sniper is it shows footage of the Twin Towers getting attacked, and then the next scene is we're going to war in Iraq. Oh, really?
Yeah. What the fuck has Iraq got to do with the Twin Towers? Nothing. But and weren't there some dancing Israelis or something?
Whatever. Yeah, it's like it's like you have often because the thing with America, like they did it with Vietnam and they still do it with Iraq, where they just make films. Like I mean, I think the only good American war film of the last 20 years I can fondly remember is Jarhead, and even then that's just a film about a guy getting cuckolded while he's serving.
Yes, that's right. It is. Someone in the chat is saying we are all going to need an Irania one day.
No.
An Irania is this great Afrikaans settlement in South Africa, and it actually works, and they do everything themselves.
Yeah.
And there are no African even laborers there. If you need labor in Irania, you have to use Afrikaners and pay them properly.
I mean, I support what they're doing there, but if you've got to the stage of Irania, you've lost.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of the whole nation, yes, of course. Yeah. Sadly,
I mean, I feel like unfortunately, one of these days they're just going to come for Irania. It doesn't matter that it's out in the middle of nowhere.
I reckon they'd find it hard, mate, actually, these days, to be honest. Like, the Africans can't organise a piss-up in a brewery is something you've got to remember.
I mean, they can still organise a pogrom.
Just human waves.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know.
To be fair, it was about a blood river. What was that?
I was just going to say that, Mitch. Yeah, 300 Afrikaners versus 30,000 Zulus. Guess who won? It wasn't the Zulus. But anyway.
It's hope, but it's not a great position to be in.
And I feel like that's the America's way. Their space is kind of a weakness also because
guys,
it's just
we've got over 260 viewers at the moment. I think many of them are probably disgruntled Americans, but anyway.
I put a meme down below. You should put it up. Only for like a minute. I made it in like 2 seconds while you were talking about it.
Hang on, let me put it up. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I'd also say that and this is going to be on it. We do a history stream every Wednesday, guys, or most Wednesdays anyway. So people who are listening to this or watching it, we are going to do a history stream about the War of 1812. And many Americans think they won that, and they didn't.
Yeah.
And we will prove this on our history stream when we do it. But anyway.
I will say before we move off of this subject, I do generally still want to say happy birthday to America. They're still Anglo-Saxons. They're still our kin, even if
I totally agree.
They're going to smother us.
Totally agree, Adam. And I was going to do this anyway. I was just going to say, happy birthday, America. I don't give a fuck about the war 250 years ago. And I wish my American cousins well, to be honest. Like I said, I've invited Aubrey on this stream, our American friend, who's quite often been on this stream. And I'm sure the only reason she's not here is she's probably at a party because it's the 4th of July.
Yeah, I do wish, though, they wouldn't like constantly come out and be like, well, if you stood out your guns, and it's like, look, Detroit's right there. Like, go and prove the point. Like, take it back, please.
Yeah, I feel like America's space is a real weakness for them, really, because they're just you're gonna get that white flight, and they will just become South Africa, little Oranias for a time until that's lost. Whereas in Europe, like Operation Scatter, it's everywhere, right? Yeah, and you're seeing all these little towns,
get away from it.
All these little villages, right? It's radicalizing a lot of people very quickly.
I will say, being that I've just come back from France does not have Operation Scatter. Like as soon as you leave like the larger towns, diversity just stops dead.
Did you, Adam, did you go near Perpignan at all?
No, I didn't. I started in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port in Basque Country, and then I crossed over into Spain and went down the Spanish side to Canfranc-Estacion. And then I crossed back over and spent some time in Lucin-Sauveur and Lourdes. And to be honest,
sounds cool. You could have gone down and seen our old mate Richard. He would have been quite close.
I was hoping to get as far as Andorra, but I didn't get that far.
How many miles do you think you did walking? I mean,
I think I hiked 110 miles.
Well, that's all right. That's good.
Yeah,
in the mountains, that's not bad.
Yeah, my feet get quite beat up, so I don't take to hiking all that well, but I do what I can. But the thing is, between leaving Paris, right, on the high speed train, but until I got to Lourdes, I think I only saw 4 black people.
Yeah, they are very concentrated in France in the big cities. Like if you'd have gone as far south as Marseille, you would have seen quite a few.
Yeah. And that's the thing. When I got back to Paris, my TGV, because of the heat, they were having problems with the high-speed train. So I got into Paris late and I had to spend the night there. And they'd had that music concert, that black music thing there. It was like Planet of the Apes outside that station. It was horrific.
The last time I was in France was actually the last time I went back to Britain to see my boy, to see my son. And on the way back, I was supposed to get a flight from Paris, and I missed it. So I ended up having to spend the night at a hotel near Charles de Gaulle Airport, which I didn't even go out because I couldn't be asked. I just wanted to get home. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know one thing about France is that I know with France, for example, people are talking like the football team, for example, being black of the as a spades, and also I've already said that. I know in France, it's like there's a racial divide where all the nons are all getting into football, whereas with rugby, it's very much a white man's sport.
Yeah,
nowadays in France.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was why I used to like rugby union for that very reason. But even that's gone sideways now.
There is the HBD guys will tell you that there is a reason why in certain countries, because it's very concentrated in certain countries, is that the football teams tend to be darker, and it's because the soccer, the football specialty schools and academies, they select based on raw age, and of course black kids hit puberty like slightly before white kids on average.
Yeah.
So, and there are countries where that's not the case, where they actually do it based on a developmental scales. And in those countries, the teams are always significantly whiter than in places like in like France. And the thing is as well, I mean, I say this, I mean, this is a really unpopular opinion that I keep coming out with in the office, but I keep pushing it anyway. If you look at sort of whether it's the UEFA various cup finalists or the World Cup, actually like teams that are majority white win it more often than teams that are majority black by a fairly good margin. Like France is actually kind of the outlier.
Well, Adam, and like there's a lot of Englishmen on this stream. In fact, I think we're all Englishmen actually. And England's only won the World Cup once, and it was in 1966. Bobby Moore's team, and all 11 players were actually English. Every single one of them. They were white Anglo-Celtic English guys.
It's like with the World Cup, I'm still watching it. I mean, I don't like people who now start shitting on the football because we've got nothing to offer. In like, if you were to shit on football non-stop, as a lot of people now sort do, we don't have anything to offer in place of that. But also,
go watch the Falklands War, Mitch. Honestly,
yeah. I would say motorsport, but Lewis Hamilton's sport, like for everyone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't stand that. I can't stand that bastard. He's such an arse.
Yeah, but, I'd say like with the England team, like you notice like the guys who are actually pulling their weight in that team. I mean, the ones that are either white or I think the one guy who is not 100% white actually pushes his weight is Jude Bellingham, but even when his father's white, so it's kind of like bad. But yeah, it's like Harry Kane, for example. Yeah, you might as well call him a white man's hope or something. I don't know what you call him. Because I mean, you're looking at the England team. I mean, the nons are not performing as well as like the pro-diversity types.
But they never do, Mitch. They never do because they don't care because it's not their country. They don't put in that extra bit that you do when it's your country because Britain isn't their country. England's not their country. It just isn't.
Well, someone pointed out that that there's been like this Southgateism of the English football team, where it's like the same strategy gets employed all the time, which is they throw Harry Kane out there to make space, and then they just get the nons to just take 30 shots from 30 yards and just hope for the best. and then in the aftermath, all the journalists just sit there and go, Harry Kane didn't do much. Maybe you should replace him with, another non. And it's like, but ultimately the skill kind of ends up ruining that narrative every time.
It's bread and circuses, guys. Look, I've got to say this. And Mitch may not agree. Mitch may not agree. It's the Romans in the Colosseum.
We've got nothing to offer football fans. Like, why should they listen to us shitting on football non-stop? We've got nothing to replace that. Like the time they spend enjoying football.
Mitch, listen. I get your point. I do. You're my friend, and I like you, and I get your point. I do, totally. But you know what? I don't care if an England team, which is 60% from overseas, wins anything. I don't care.
But the thing is, you're just letting the woke, like you're having that sort of anti-the cunt thing syndrome, where it's kind of like you're letting the woke decide what you can and can't enjoy. It's like it's self-defeating when you let your enemy.
No, I'm not doing that, Mitch. I'm not. If you like it and you want to watch it, go and watch it. I'm not gonna. Listen. I never was a soccer fan. I was never a football fan. All right. My brother was like the biggest Millwall fan in the whole history of the universe. Yeah, he used to go up and down the country with,
He was actually the Lion of Millwall.
Yeah, he used to get in the fights and all the rest of it, right?
I've got friends now like white young Zoomers, and they're into football, and they literally just go to Millwall. Whoever's playing, they just go there to support the away side because they just love walking through the thing and through the away side and just getting all the abuse.
Yeah. Like I said, my brother would travel all over the country with like the Millwall soccer fans, right? Football fans. I was never into football. I always thought it was a pretty girly game, to be honest. I liked cricket. I liked rugby union. but I don't even follow those anymore for exactly the same reasons that I don't care about the England in air quotes football team, because they're not English. If they were English, I'd go back to following them immediately.
I will say this week comes between rugby and football. I always prefer playing rugby. Because like most men are sort of like getting the scrums, but I was like a belly dancer on the rugby field. I used to weave through everyone, and I loved every second of it.
I mean, I'm never.
Yeah.
I do quite like rugby. I actually do like rugby more than football. I'm not the biggest football fan out there. I've never really enjoyed watching it, but I don't really think the right should just invest itself in just shitting on it constantly. Like,
oh look, I just think it's bread and circuses. It is,
but the circuses were free.
Like, yeah,
this is the thing. These people are obviously quite invested in it. I don't understand why we should be like saying, "Yeah, we're going to take that away from you." By the way,
no, but nobody wants to take that away from them. I mean, I would, of course, when we win, and I say when we win because we are going to win. All that's going to happen is that the England football team will actually be an England football team.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You need to sell the message. Like what I would say is, like personally, right? I'd have no problem just saying to an England fan, yeah, I prefer if the team was 100% white, just because.
Yeah, exactly. That's all.
Yeah,
all I'm saying.
Dude, let me finish. I was going to say but I'm not going to spend my time shitting on the sport, saying, oh well, if because it's X amount of foreigners, don't bother going to the games. It's like, well, I mean, it's one of the few times where people are allowed to fly the England flag. And they get that permission slip from the government.
All right, Mitch.
That's the way people are. Like, so I don't get it. Just don't shit on it.
Mitch, I get it. And we're not going to stop it. All we're going to do when we win, and we will, is we're just going to make the England team be 100% English again. And then I'll report on it once the English team is 100% 11 Englishmen with an English coach. I'll cover it. I'll say, yeah, the England team are doing this, that, and the other this week.
Right, but another thing is, so people will talk about whenever the diversity were to do anything good. Yeah, sure, people talk about a greater man, but one thing I would say is there's no one more racist than a disappointed football fan.
Yeah.
It's true. Do you remember when the Three Lions got lined up for their penalty shots? What was that? What tournament was that? A couple of years back. That was the
Euro 2020.
Yeah.
And they missed.
And they all missed. The diversity all missed.
I heard that Germany was knocked out of this World Cup because their diversity missed the penalties.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I remember the Netherlands always have the same problem where they're very. Their captain Virgil van Dijk, he's more diverse than Tiger Woods, like genetically. He's got Chinese, he's got Filipino, I think, he's got Surinamese, he's got every ethnicity under the sun in his DNA test, and basically he just didn't want to take the penalties, and he had to have a white lad. I think like the white lad was like something like 20 years old or something like that. Basically, the young white lads had to do the penalties, and well, of course, when you're 20 years old, the pressure's on you. You're not going to do as well. So that's so. I think there's a fair point to say that black, because the thing is, there's a fair point to say there's a reason why so many blacks in football, because they got the sort of physicality for it. But at the same time, I think there's something neurologically wrong with it.
They're also advantaged, Mitch, when it comes to.
I was going to end it with saying, also the blacks. I think it just has certain depth where they're just shit at taking penalties. Like they just can't shoot a shot properly unless it's point blank. Like they're just absolutely crap at shooting shots outside the box, and it's like a matter of sure they're good at brute force, I suppose, but when you try to do technique, they're just incapable of it. So I think the blacks are very overrated in football.
I've got to say, guys, we've got somewhere between 400 and 450 viewers at the moment. This is the sort of viewership we get when Morgoth joins us, which he does occasionally. If you haven't watched this stream before, So yeah, I'm going to have to do more anti-American tweets, I think.
Yes.
Although it wasn't
You know,
even meant to be anti-American, to be honest. But okay.
you know, but someone's going to make a meme of Tharium just saying, "Come on, G, join the dark side."
All roads lead to Tharium.
I just hope that Aubrey sees this and joins us, and then everyone can hear this. Everyone can hear this cute Midwestern American girl on the stream. That will make some of these Americans think twice, I suspect. But anyway,
I did take some time out to ring Aubrey, and I reckon she's at some sort of party because she's not answering.
Yeah, no, she will. She'll be at a party or country club or something with her dad probably. And yeah, good luck to her and happy birthday, America, by the way. But anyway, whatever.
Mitch, isn't the like at the lower level, sort of like the clubs, sort of the things getting into the clubs for football in England, don't they have loads of like diversity quotas? It's a lot of like young white lads getting passed up from being able to get into teams.
I don't know for sure. I know that because generally when you look at local non-leagues, they generally tend to be quite white. It's only not really the big teams. Like
I think it's like, yeah, I don't know. Isn't it like somewhere where you're like moving up? I think they've got
Premier League and Championship. It's getting really bad for the diversity. I mean, you know, but when you look up, let's say I'm not. I mean, there are times where I will shit on the Premier League and stuff like that because I just think there's no soul to it. It's not like what it was 50 years ago. I really don't get how people can watch that. So I don't mind shitting on that part of football. It's just when the national team plays where I think people need to resist seeing as a party because I'm at one.
I think if you want to also, there is like the right wing politicization of what like you were saying, it's Harry Kane basically carrying the whole team by himself. Or there's that Norwegian guy who seems to just be like crashing all the diversity by himself.
Yeah, I mean, TikTok is full of edits where it has like Kane with a pith helmet, just saying like Kane the Conqueror, and he sent more Africans home than any government for the past 20 years.
It's true.
Well, there was that. Oh, who was that? That England player that kicked the flag on the sidelines, and it was the pride flag. That was a few years ago. I remember there were so many edits made about that.
Oh, yeah.
Just slid in and just obliterated the flag.
One of the things that finished it for me, Armand, was when every single British Premier League game started with everyone kneeling for Black Lives Matter. I'm sorry, that just
do they still show that on TV? Because apparently
I don't know. They used to do it. They used to do it.
They haven't done it in years. I think everything was stopped. It took some other football teams. I think it's like I know Germany. I think it was in the last Euros. They like when they were hosting it, they had a game against Hungary, and they were showing up with a pride flag, like just to be because they were trying to stick it against Viktor Orban and Hungary when they were hosting the Hungarian team in Munich, and I think they were still doing the BLM stuff. And I was like 2024. That was like when we were still doing some of them kneeling and pride shit. But
yeah, I heard some of the teams were still doing it. I heard like a year ago, but I never saw it on TV. I only ever heard about people would like film it in the stadium where everyone was booing it. But I don't know if that's still televised. I imagine if it is, but I know that it's been very, very. It's sort of become almost a tradition, or it became a tradition for a while where everyone would just boo it.
Oh yeah, for sure, and you should boo it because if you're going to kneel for Black Lives Matter, what you're really kneeling for is anti-white, really.
I would like to say this though. My biggest problem with the sort of fetishization of football, and it's the only route to patriotism through football, is that can be used against. Well, number one, why aren't we backing Ronnie O'Sullivan in the snooker, or someone like Richard Burns in the rallying? That's no reference, or Colin McRae in the rallying, because that's my little thing. But that
Mercian will always bring this back to motorsport. Always.
Well, no,
without any doubt.
Yeah, but you see my point. It's sort of like, you know, we could be proud of our rally drivers.
Mercian, the guys who I used to like were people like Graham Hill. You know Graham.
Yeah.
And the guy, the generation before him, who was
Dave
even
Clark.
more.
Was it David Clark? I think.
No.
I forgot his name.
I could remember his name.
You know
there was this guy the guy in the 50s.
Yeah, that's the guy I'm talking about. I forgot his name. Yeah.
Sterling Moss. Thank you, Richard Hughes. Sterling Moss. That's who we mean, Mitch.
Yeah.
Sterling Moss, Mercian, yeah?
Yeah. There was another driver from the 50s. I think his name was David Clark or something like that.
Yeah. David Clark was another guy, but Sterling Moss, Hill, and also, of course, even the really posh English dude, he wasn't bad either. The blonde guy, what was his name, Mercian? Jim Clark's another one from the chat. Yeah. There used to be a lot of really good British motorsport.
That's probably the guy I'm thinking of, Jim Clark. I'm Dave Clark.
James Hunt, thank you.
That's the guy. Yeah, James Hunt. Yeah.
James Hunt was the very posh guy who was also a good motor racing guy.
What's his name? Was it Hemsworth? Which Hemsworth was it portrayed him in a film?
Chris Hemsworth in Rush in 2002.
Yeah.
To show how long Chris Hemsworth has been, because people think like he came about with the Avengers, but he'd been an actor for like a few. Although it's an Australian actor, so he's probably neighbours of Homer away at some stage. That's where all the Australian actors start out.
Yeah, they all Australians started in that one for sure. Mercian, who was the dude in? I mean, the real dude, not the actor. Who was the dude in Ford versus Ferrari? The English World War II tank driver,
Ken Miles.
Yeah, in World War II, he was a tank guy in the British Army, and he was another great British motor racing dude.
Yeah, and if for any Americans watching, Christian Bale, he perhaps can do a Brummie accent, but that's not what a Brummie accent should sound like. I think he watered it down for you guys.
Well, I mean, Woodpitch saying about Brits being crazy about racing more than Americans. In American racing, it's so awful. Well, it's mostly just NASCAR.
Sorry, I haven't made my point about the football yet, but I've got to say,
I don't think Mercian's going to agree with you here, Farron. Mercian is so into like big engines and cars and going around tracks. Don't think he's going to hate NASCAR as much as you do.
I learned something recently. Americans did this race series called the Trans Am, and it's basically big American muscle cars, right? And after the Audi Quattro was in rallying, Audi took the Audi Quattro to this Trans Am racing and absolutely dominated it. And because all the Americans are making fun of it, like, this 2.1 litre four-cylinder engine is gonna overtake our V8s, and this Audi
Quattro
dominated.
Guys, I've got to say, my American friend Clossington, who's a good all-American, old glory guy, he's in the chat. So hello, Clossington, and happy birthday to America to you, mate. But sorry, carry on, guys.
I would just ask one question: like, has anyone ever actually met a Formula One fan that was not white? Because every racing car fan I've ever met were all white, aside from Fast and Furious people.
Well, when I used to live in the middle of Melbourne, and the Australian Grand Prix is in Melbourne, right? And I used to hate it because I was in South Melbourne in the middle of the city, not very far from the Formula One track, and I used to have to listen to this horrible fucking noise all day. But I will say this, Like, if you wanted to meet a nice med Italian type girl, you needed to go to that because there were all these gorgeous Italian girls who
didn't they get rid of that?
Ferrari.
Didn't all the feminists complain about the multi-track girls? Like, and so I was like
the grid girls. Yeah, the grid girls. Yeah.
They're gone now.
Yeah. I mean, I know. That was like 10 years ago. They cancelled that because all the feminists complaining. Which, when we get the
you cannot have cute white girls getting jobs that make everybody happy. You can't have that if you're
especially working class ones.
No. Yeah, a poor little working class girl who just happens to be cute. You can't possibly have her being a grid girl.
Yeah, I'll tell you one. Thing I found interesting was I think it was chariot car racing we did back in the 30s in Australia. It's kind of like chariot racing, but it's like instead of like horses, you strap to like a couple of motorcycles instead of horses. I thought how much Australia brings that back.
That would be great. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, that's like. I mean, I can understand why Duke says Anglo-Celtic because that's the most Celtic coded sport I've ever heard.
Yeah. Listen, I say Anglo-Celtic. People say I say this because it's used in Australia. I don't. I didn't even know that it was used in Australia.
Oh, you're right.
But it is used in Australia, but I don't use it because of that. I use it because most British people are Anglos, but some of the Scots, some of the Northern Irish, the Welsh, and some of the people in Cornwall are Celtic. So Anglo-Celtic, that's the only reason I use it. If to be real British, you've got to be Anglo-Celtic.
Yeah, but the problem with Anglo-Celtic is also troublesome in its own way because you've got a lot of Irish. I remember one woman on Twitter by the name of Australia Fair, and she was an Irish Australian, quote unquote. And I remember the last tweet I ever saw from her was her saying she wants Aboriginals to take over Australia again. And it's just,
fuck her then. But anyway, there's
the Australian
racing.
That
from
looks
Australia.
amazing.
Yeah, it does. It looks cool. Eh? It's like Ben-Hur with motorcycles.
Yeah.
I was about to say, if you didn't know any better, you'd say that was AI generated, wouldn't you? So, can you make Ben-Hur with motorbikes?
Nah, it's Australians, of course it is.
Let's just say it's no wonder why Mad Max had to be made in Australia and somewhere like America.
I will say, guys, right, heads up, I've been talking to a chap on the Discord today, and we may, it's not happened yet, but we might start something like a monthly or maybe even fortnightly Australian nationalist stream, a bit like this, but mainly for Australians. And of course, British people are more than welcome to come watch that because, basically real Australians are Anglo-Celtic too. So there you go. With a few exceptions, like my good friend Marcus Furious, who's a Med, but also Australian.
Do you know Australia makes my favourite muscle car of all time, or made it? The Ford Falcon.
Which one's that? Which one's that?
Ford Falcon, the mid-70s Ford Falcon XB Cobra. It looks like a Mark III Capri, but like obviously more muscular because it was a proper V8, a proper muscle car.
Yeah.
That's what I want the Ford Capri to be, and I look at that Ford Falcon with gooey eyes, like why couldn't our Ford Capri been like that?
Do you, Mercian, do you know Bathurst in Australia?
Yeah.
And it used to be a big motor racing place in Australia.
Still is, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I think so, but not as big as it used to be. I've driven my car across the finish at Bathurst at over 100 miles an hour.
That's it.
What I
do know about Bathurst though is it's perhaps one of the most lethal circuits in the world because it has one of the longest straight into a 90-degree bend.
Yep. Yeah. You have to slow down well before you get there. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Because I've heard it said because I mean I'm to tie back because one thing I've noticed as well. I think Lewis Hamilton is the only like massive black driver there is when it comes to Formula One.
I think so. Yeah.
It's weird.
He's the most massive gay prat there is too. But
yeah. I just find it weird about how because every Formula One fan I've ever met, they're all white. It's a very white-coded fan base.
Well, this is why when you were talking about like any white spots, like and then think about like things like the Goodwood Festival as well. The Goodwood Festival Speed. I mean, like that's a festival where people dress up in vintage clothes, and it's all rich old white men for the most part. You won't find any diversity. Well, very little diversity. I mean, diversity is everywhere now, but it's
because it's not. But yeah, you're right because it's not like. It's not as if the diversity don't like fancy cars and stuff.
But they all just watch Fast and Furious.
But they can't drive them. They can't drive them. If you watch any of these American dash cam police things, right? The black guys driving the cars always get caught immediately because they crash them. Basically, they just
it's like I've been like because that's the thing, right? I've been the closest thing you got to blacks and nons in general trying to get into car racing is like watching a Fast and Furious film. Like that's the only thing they got going for them in terms of watching cars racing. And that's close to me. But won't actually watch cars racing in terms of Formula One or anything like that. It's just it's a very white coded thing. It's like
I think that's the race. I mean, like obviously, because I quite like Subaru Imprezas, but that's more the rallying thing. But I think the racing scene it does attract diversity because it's a cheap way to get into fast cars.
Well, the thing is, as well as it is kind of low time preference, like motorsport generally. Like I've been and watched the F1 at Spa and stuff like that, and it's quite a long ordeal. It's whereas they want something with more immediate payoff, I suppose.
Yeah. So like you're gonna watch the. I mean, like I've been to a rally, and I've got to say, if you go to an actual rally, my only advice to you is take friends, take beer, and because
get a book.
Basically,
and don't sit on a sharp corner. That's
you want to be in the inside of the sharp corner because very likely you want to be on a sharp corner, but you want to be in the inside of it. And the beautiful thing about rallying is if a car comes off, you are the crew to help the car out as well. But my only advice is if you go to rallying, it's sort of like take a beer or two. Take a friend, like you basically chatting in the woods. And then all of a sudden,
take a cute girl to sit on your knee, and yes, absolutely, I agree.
Yeah. But basically, you just have a chat, and then everyone goes shh as the car, and you get, and it gets really. You just basically stop what you're doing. You watch the car power slide round the corner, and then you go ooh, and then you carry on. Because there's nothing happening after that.
I'm sold. This sounds thrilling.
Only if you got the cute girl to sit on your knee, to be honest with you, guys. But yeah.
So surprised they're still on the ground now. They don't seem interested in running.
Yeah, strange.
I'd say the other most white-coded sport there is also greyhound racing as well. I've never met a non who's interested in that either. So
We've talked about this, given that Wales has banned greyhound racing, and the point then is they only banned it because it's a white working class sport.
Somebody told me they were going to start wife racing in Wales, but yeah, maybe. Why ban greyhound racing? Well, listen, there were many bad arsehole greyhound breeders who didn't treat their dogs very well But if you treat your dog well and you make sure he gets a nice retirement home when he's too old to race, then I got nothing against greyhound racing because the dogs love it, you know?
Yeah, it's. I mean, because I remember, like, I don't know if it was like last year or earlier this year. I can't remember, but like, there was a lot of people posting about the idea of banning greyhound racing, and I'm like, well, as far as countries go in terms of greyhound racing, we're probably one of the best countries to do it because we've got such high standards as a culture for taking care of dogs. It's not like you're doing greyhound racing, like I know.
Yeah, British people love dogs.
It's like,
and that's right.
It'd be one thing if you were hearing of like greyhound racing being done in somewhere like China. That'd be one thing, but we're not them, are we? Like, we're Britain, and we're very much well known for our dog caring standards. I don't know how best to put it, but yeah. So
yeah, it's same in Australia, mate. And greyhound racing is big in Australia. I've got a few people that I sometimes see who walk their greyhounds around when I go to the shops and stuff. And so long as you look after them, and so long as you look after them when they're too old to race, I've got nothing against that at all. Because the dogs love it. I mean, they think it's a game. You know, they're chasing something.
Yeah. Well, it annoys me that the people, the standards people use it. You can't do this because it's cruel against the dogs. Greyhounds love the racing. I've heard people talk, because I quite like the breed border collies, but people have started saying that using them as shepherding is cruel because you're making them work. It's sort of like, no, they love herding.
No, utter bollocks, Mercy. When I was a much younger man, when I was married and my little boy was small, we had two dogs, and one was a beagle and the other was a border collie. And the border collie, if we walked along the towpath on the Thames, on the river, if she saw a big flock of geese, she would try and round them up because that was just her instinct to do that.
Instinctually, yeah. We was bred into them. Yeah, it's, you know. And you see, I mean, like, if you've ever watched a proper shepherding border collie, the excitement they get as they leave the home to go round up some sheep, it's to see the joy in their faces.
Same in Australia, blue heelers, red heelers, and also oh God, I had one once. I'm trying to think what they're called now. The Kelpies. The Australian sheepdog, exactly the same. They just love this stuff. They just think it's fun, you know.
Yeah. And if you've ever seen border collies, I mean, they can't outrun a greyhound, but they'll give them a run for their money. They can go when they want to.
Yeah, listen, I like all dogs and a fair number of human beings, frankly. Fuck me, Deb, we got nearly 700 viewers, guys. I'm going to have to do more anti-American tweets today. But anyway, that weren't even meant to be anti-American, but whatever. But yeah, no, guys, if you would like to support this channel, which, in case you haven't worked it out yet, is a right-wing channel, you can do so via Subscribestar. It's a whole $5 a month, and it's pinned at the bottom of the chat on YouTube. Guys, let's kind of pull this show a little bit back to what we normally do. Do any of my guests have a particular thing they wanted to talk about this week?
Well, actually, do you want to... hang on, I'm just trying to find the thing. Do you want to, off the back of what you just said, talk about this stuff to do with... I'm just trying to see if I can find it. This stuff to do with YouTube changing the algorithm, or potentially changing the algorithm in the future to... I think it's to suit, like... I don't know if it's a request by the British government.
Or yes, Adam. The YouTube... I mean, first thing I'm going to say to everyone on here is if you're British or Australian, get a VPN, guys. You're going to need one. But yeah, what the British government wants YouTube to do, and we now have 700 viewers, for fuck's sake. YouTube wants to make the British government wants to make YouTube make everyone watch the BBC, which is the Biased Brainwashing Corporation, if you didn't know, and also, other mainstream media in Britain, which is all shit, basically, and lies. So, yeah, please, Armin, let's talk
I've
about
put the image up of the impact statement, I suppose, from YouTube about the proposed changes. So I don't know if we exactly have much in the way of details. I'm having trouble getting Twitter to work, so I'm struggling to track down the stuff I saved about it earlier. But yeah, they basically want to. I mean, this is really not too dissimilar from what we already see on like search engines and that, where they give like priority.
Can I also, Adam, can I also just say, this is going to affect your wallet. Because if the British government gets this through, what will happen is if you're in Britain and you don't have a VPN, so they can check you're in Britain, they're going to make you pay the TV license to watch YouTube.
Yeah.
That is the idea. That's the idea.
Is that actually confirmed? Because I think that was something they were talking about. We talked a while back about what the BBC put in their report. I can't remember what the name of that report is.
It's what they want to do.
Yeah, I mean, they want to expand it to streaming because they were talking about expanding the license to things like Netflix as well.
Yeah, I think Netflix was actually pushing back on this somewhat. Which I found funny.
I should, but
you say that, but like the BBC has been like properly courting Netflix for ages. Like every time there was like you had the show Adolescence, right? That was on Netflix. I mean, that was really, really promoted by like the BBC. Bridgerton was another one. Every time the BBC did one of their Netflix did one of their subversive shows, like the BBC was just like doing all their marketing for them. It was It was really, really pushing them wholesale. But yeah, I mean, this is really what we've already seen. You already get this if you go on Google, right? If you go on Google and you search for something, it's going to prioritize BBC results or Wikipedia results and stuff like that. But they're just expanding it to.
Adam, have you noticed, right, that 10 years ago, when you used the search engine, you would get all sorts of results. And these days, you only get a few because the ones.
Google just doesn't work now.
Yeah, but nor does DuckDuckVPN or DuckDuckGo or any of these people. They're all shit now.
There is a subscription based search engine that's supposed to be. I forget the name of it. That's supposed to be really good. That's basically like you would think a search engine should be, but you have to subscribe. You have to subscribe to it because they don't put adverts on, so you can't pay to get higher.
What's it called, Mercian?
I'll see if I can. Ironically, I'll see if I can Google it.
Alphabet Cat's mentioning Quant. I don't know that one. Oh no, there's
Yandex, I don't know that one either. But I've got to say, look, I use Brave now as a browser because basically Atman said it's the best one to use, and I think he's right. Although it does not do some things. Like if you want to find, like I have to find thumbnails for our streams, and mostly you can't download them from Brave for some reason. I don't know why. So I've still got to keep Mozilla in the background just to download thumbnails, which annoys me a bit. But and also if I'm on YouTube and YouTube says, "Oh, this might not be suitable for some viewers," on Brave I can't click. Yeah, I understand that, and I don't give a shit. But you can't do that on Brave. I have to go onto another thing to do that.
Yeah.
So I've shared the search engine. It's called Kaggle.
Here we go.
Or I don't know how you pronounce it. So yeah, basically it's a subscription engine. You pay. So you basically advertisers can't pay to get a higher ranking.
There you go.
So
there you go, guys. There you go.
If anyone's interested in subscription based,
I would just say, guys, if you're in anywhere in the Anglosphere outside America, and this is one thing I will say about America, America has way more free speech than any other Anglosphere country. But if you're in Britain or Australia, Canada, New Zealand, you gotta get a VPN, guys. You've just got to.
I haven't got one yet, but I probably will in the future.
Yeah, you've got to, mate. Someone I thought it was funny. Someone said NordVPN coming in shortly. I use NordVPN and it works really well.
Well,
but
I was actually listening to a podcast in a more normie space, right, for like a hobby, and that's hosted by two Australians, and I actually think they're kind of sort of like cosmopolitan, maybe somewhat liberal Australians. I have inclinations of, but of course they never talk politics, so you kind of only have to guess at these things. But even like they picked up recently on their, like a lot of podcasts do, they have the NordVPN ad bit, right? And they did their ad bit and they went into this rant essentially for like 10 minutes on their podcast about how you basically need to have NordVPN now, or VPN generally, to get anything done in Australia on the internet. And they started bringing up this news article about like all the huge increase in VPN usage in Australia. And they were even saying, like, they were joking because they've both been to China recently, and they were like, "Oh, you know, in China, it's like written into the law that if you're a foreigner, you are actually just legally allowed to use VPN." And they're like, "But you know, that's like more respect for like, you know, Australian citizens who are on holiday in China than the Australian government has for them domestically." I was quite surprised.
But the British government actually wants to ban VPNs. You know
that won't happen. But
no, I don't think they can, but they want to.
They will probably. I think what they'll do is they'll take VPNs off of the app stores. Is probably the route they'll go down. But the problem is VPNs actually use the same tech that basically all of the financial sector uses. So you can't really ban them. You can just kind of like try to limit people's access.
You can make it hard for people to find them, I think, is what you're trying to say.
Well, it will stop people getting they could stop people getting the paid ones, the ready built ones. It wouldn't stop you building your own VPN if you have the facilities.
Jesus Christ, guys, we've got over 800 viewers. We've never had that many viewers ever. But okay. Look, all I would say is
quick, call Trump a Gaylord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. MAGA is only pro-Israel, really. Okay. Yeah. I didn't really mean it, guys. I didn't.
I did.
I kind of did. You know what I mean? But guys, honestly, if the authorities are that interested in you, a VPN will not save you, but it will allow you to go to overseas sites without the British government blocking you. And if they bring this bullshit on that, you know, you must watch the BBC and pay a TV license on YouTube, it will stop that working. It will.
Do you remember a few years ago with YouTube, Susan Wojcicki, she started just doing this, pushing like CNN and stuff. This was like all the content she wanted pushed on YouTube with their algorithm.
All the left-wing shit.
Yeah. And everyone hated it. And they the response she got was, well, people hate this stuff. But she didn't care. It's like, no, people are watching this anyway. And this just seems like more like that. But
I am surprised by YouTube because they've been criticised for bringing in like legacy media sort of thing, and I have been watching they do have like loads of movies you can watch legitimately. They're not uploaded by the actual sort of like Paramount and all.
Yeah, there's a lot now.
Yeah, but that seems considering YouTube wanting to go down that route, it's quite hidden.
Yeah.
And you can watch lots of stuff for free. Like I watched Silence of the Lambs the other night, and I was like, pretty nice.
They want to make money, Mercian. All right, they do.
But they're not making money on those videos, are they?
Well, they've got ads at them. They've got ads. I think they do.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yesterday.
Yeah. So I suppose for some of these older films, once you put them on here with ads on YouTube, I should say with ads, I suppose you're making more money than you were from the paltry DVD sales.
Yeah,
on films that are that old.
But Adam, look, I saw yesterday, right? Das Boot is on YouTube, right?
Yeah,
and it's free with ads. But if you have the number of ad blockers I do, you can watch it free without ads. So that's what I do, and it's a very good film, by the way, guys. Do go watch it.
I tell you what, if ever I'm with my mother or parents and like just normies in general, and they've got the television on, the fucking adverts, cannot stand it.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
Drive me
and the thing
insane.
is, I mean, we're talking about VPNs. I mean, I haven't got a VPN. I haven't felt the need to get one now, but I know I will in the future. But actually, funny enough, it's actually sport. Not to go back to one of our original arguments, but it's actually sport that's driven me to get VPN before anything else because. So I've been watching the cycling, right? Tour de France started today. And they've got like ITV doesn't host it anymore. So you have to get it for a subscription service through, I think it's TNT Sports now. It used to be Eurosport. And it's £32 a month with adverts. And the amount of ads on it as well is insane.
This fucking shit. Where like all the
£32 a month, that's fucking daylight robbery, mate.
Top tip for any Formula One fans: if you get a VPN and set it to Austria, and you don't mind the sort of the commentary, you can watch Formula One for free in Austria because it's just available to Austrians for free.
Yeah. And this is the thing, though. I mean, I'm going to get a VPN and just stream it from SBS in America, in Australia. Like you still get ads, but it's a free service, so I can live with that.
Adamant, I do use NordVPN, by the way. But listen, I would say always you should, like 95% of the time, be based in the USA. Because we like to slag off our American cousins, but they do actually still have free speech over there.
Generally, yeah.
And the only other 5% of the time is if I want to watch something from Russia, which is banned in America because the Ukraine bollocks or something like that.
Well, I do notice NordVPN don't have any Russian servers. You can get Ukrainian ones, but.
No. They do have Russian servers.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do.
It's hidden from me. We have the British at NordVPN.
I think Nord are based in the Virgin Islands. I think.
No. Nord are they're Scandinavian. I think.
No, no, they're not. I think they're based in the Virgin Islands.
Well,
I assume they were Scandinavian. Because the name, but no.
All right. Well, hopefully they're based in the British Virgin Islands, which I've been to. It's a great place.
They do have good like privacy stuff there because everyone hides their taxes. So, yeah.
I mean, the NordVPN I've got, it doesn't say Russia, and also apparently NordVPN's Lithuanian, which. That's a bit weird.
Oh, okay.
Well,
that
would make some sense. Yeah.
That's funny, Lithuanian, because have you heard about that Revolut bank? That's Lithuanian based as well. And
those little Baltic republics have their issues, to be honest. But whatever. Someone's saying in the chat, the eternal Anglo strikes again. I hope that's me.
So many.
I'd love.
As
I want to be the
big,
eternal Anglo. I do.
Yeah.
A Cad Dale, he's just dropped a video. WTF is going on with the football? So there you go, Mitch.
All right, we've had a topic from Adamant. Anybody else got a topic?
I don't know about a topic,
guys. We are approaching 1,000 live viewers. Shit in hell.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't know if anyone's heard about Scott Galloway guy. He's kind of like kind of like a boomer guy, like who I'm trying to think. You know, you got the manosphere, which tells young men about the dating market. I mean, you've got Scott Galloway, who's kind of a left-wing version, where he'll just come up with woodwork to say, oh, well, if you're just kind to a woman, if you believe in all the feminism, and if you believe in all the if you believe in the feminist
she'll despise you.
Yeah, so, for example, Scott Galloway, there's a clip of him where he's saying, look, so, on one hand, 10 years ago, for example, he was against gender pay. He kept going, oh, well, women should entirely be paid the same as men, and blah, blah, blah.
Well, but they have been for years, but okay.
Yeah, but like the point remains, like basically, it doesn't matter what job you do if the idea of men out-earning women in anything is seen as bad. But yeah, and then Scott Galloway will say, oh, well, why aren't young men out-earning young women? Like, this is why the birth rates are so low. And I'm thinking, well, I'm thinking this guy 10 years ago was supporting what made it a problem to begin with. Like, it's like I think what's his distributist, like Dave Green, he posted about it, and he basically, I think his analogy of the snake eating its own tail is probably the best metaphor to explain it, because
and Dave Green, the distributist, is a mate of mine. I'm actually a mod on his channel. I'm only a mod on 2 channels. Dave Green, the distributist, and Apostolic Majesty, the only 2. But Dave's a good bloke. I like it.
Yeah, and I mean, the whole thing is just so the gender pay gap. So, for example, you remember a year or 2 back where the warehouse workers working for Asda were getting paid more than the women working with tills, and they called a whole stink about it because of the Equality Act. Basically, the women now have to be paid as much as the men, even though working with till isn't as physically demanding, or there's a reason it doesn't get paid as much as doing warehouse. And it's just, it's like the snake eats its own tail, because guys like Scott Galloway will say, why aren't young men out-earning young women and having babies? And it's like, well...
What, did he try ever asking, well, why weren't young women out-earning men back in the day? Did he ever ask that? Because I bet he's got an explanation for that. That isn't the women's fault.
All I can tell you, gents, right, and I'm an old bastard, okay? I'm 61 years old, so I'm a very old bastard. Women despise girly men. They just don't like them. They never will like them. Doesn't matter if they claim they're a feminist. Don't do it. Women like confident men who are men, who they feel safe with when they're walking around at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Honest truth.
Yeah, if you are a feminine man, that means you're gay, and the reason the women are comfortable around you is they don't see you in a sexual way whatsoever.
No, that's how you get friend zoned. If you want some chick who's actually going to look up to you and admire you, and you're never going to get a girl unless they look up to you and admire you, and it's got nothing to do with height, really.
I just think with Scott Galloway, it's kind of like the system just has nothing to offer compared to the manosphere when it comes to how young men and young women should approach each other. Like, there's just nothing the system
just be confident, guys. Be confident, and make your girl, when you're walking around with her, I don't know, 11:30 at night, in between a
why would you be walking at 11:30 at night anyway?
Well, because you might be in you might be in a pub or a bar or something.
Do you know how much a pint costs these days compared to when you were my age?
I do actually. Mitch,
to be fair, nowadays you'd be hard find. You'd be hard.
Mitch, I occasionally go out for a beer. I occasionally go out for a beer, you know, even with my girl. But she's got to feel safe with you, and if she does, she won't give a shit, right? Women are still quite traditional at heart. So if you get past the politics, you know.
So I'm going to show my age now because, like you said, go for beer. I was going to ask you, do you Australians don't give a Casamo 4X for anything else? That really dates me. That does.
Yeah, and it's bollocks because no one in Australia drinks those beers. But you know, but yeah, apparently I'm allowed out on day release occasionally. I'm not actually. I actually take my girl out once every 2 weeks because every other week I go to her place and she does, you know, she cooks and what have you. But
wait a minute. So Australians don't drink Casamo 4X or Foster's at all?
Not really, no, not really.
What do they drink then?
Oh, you drink? Well, I drink. What's it called? The Japanese beer. Super dry. Yeah, thank you. I drink that, Mitch. But you VB, like when I'm out with my mates and we're buying each other around, then I drink VB because I don't want to buy a more expensive beer than the other guys do. So they don't have to pay more
beer
money.
Drink. All I know is Carling is the worst lager on the planet. I'm surprised.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It always was, Mercy, and it was terrible even when I was a young dude. Victoria Bitter's all right though. VB's okay. You know, it's not great, but it's all right. But yeah, it's if you want to get a girl, be a confident man who she feels safe with. So, you know, when you're walking around at 10:30 at night.
Doesn't this all seem a bit old hat though?
Well, yeah, but it's still true, Armin, you know?
Right, but
I don't know it. I don't know anyone who is walking with a bird. I mean, if you're out with your bird like 10:30, chances are you're over her house, not out there in public in like in a pub or whatever.
Okay. I don't know. I sometimes I'm out with my girl at that time.
Right. When it comes to the pub near me, right. So I'm probably the youngest chap there, and I'm 25, and I'm the youngest generally in my local pub. Like I don't know anyone below my age who's going to a pub these days. It's not like 10 years ago when I was like 15. There'd be plenty of guys my age going to a pub, but nowadays it's just completely warped now. You know,
wow. Well, okay. Now you're teaching me something, Mitch. Is this much? It hasn't died here.
I just think COVID did a number on a lot of Zoomers.
It hasn't died in Australia. I mean, granted, you're going to be in the middle of the city, not like in the outskirts. But yeah. I mean, I don't do it very often because I don't like it anymore. But if my chick wants to go listen to a band or something, we'll go do that. You know.
Yeah. So I mean, Adam Cooper took him as Zoomers going to a pub. I mean, as I said, in my local pub, I'm genuinely the youngest, and I'm 25. That kind of tells you how bad things really are. Because as I said, like when I was growing up. Usually, you'd have, let's say, one pub. I know it's not really a dox to say there was one pub near me called Pied Piper, and it was a really well-named pub because everyone being served in that pub was below drinking age, like, officially. Like, I think the whole point of that pub basically was that, you know, it's not that pub from Hot Fuzz, you know, whole thing about the greater good. With that, the whole point is that pub allows the young guys below 18 to drink because it's better them drinking there rather than say some dodgy house party or something. That's kind of what it used to be, but nowadays it's just like if you're out there drinking, you don't probably doing a house party. You're not going to a pub these days.
Mitch, I'll tell you what, right, I used to live in this little village in Berkshire, which had one pub and a church, and that was it, basically, of everything in the village that was not houses. But my local pub, which started off, I think, as Henry VIII hunting lodge in the 1500s, we've got over 1,000 viewers, guys. Jesus Christ. I'm going to have to do more anti-American posts. But anyway, but yeah.
Greetings, hate watchers.
Yeah, go wild, guys. But yeah, my local pub was its side life as a Henry VIII hunting lodge, and it was really lovely. It was like a old one-story Tudor building with like a thatch roof and a lovely beer garden and all this. And the guy who ran it was an ex-cop, yeah, and his wife and their lovely red setter dog. And what he would do when, time came around, which I think was like midnight in the days when I used to use that place, he'd just shut the doors. And if the cops turned up, he'd turn around and said, no, this is just my guests, which you're allowed to do. And he was an ex-cop, so he knew this stuff. So whatever. But yeah, I'm sure you're right, Mitch. I'm not going to argue against you, but it's a shame because England has always had this, or Britain has always had this pub, hotel, inn culture. It always did,
Yeah. So, for example, one of the pubs near me, one of my local pubs. I mean, it's something like you're going back to before the Tudors. You're going back to the Wars of the Roses when one of my local pubs was set up. That's how old some of the pubs near me are, and that pub struggling a bit financially ever since COVID because the number of owners that pub's gone through the last 10 years alone, staggering because it's just people like the pub it's not helping that the government raised beer duty, I think it was. And other stuff like business taxes and all the rest of it. So, I mean, I'm thinking going off with also how my generation are being sort of not going to the pub as much as early generations before us. That's a bit of a black pill, just dealing with how much English pubs declined the past.
It used to be the working man's social club, like. The aristocracy in London would go to their gentlemen's clubs. The equivalent for the lower middle and working class used to be the pub. That's where you went to go chat with your mates and all this kind of thing. And of course, they want to destroy that. They do.
But there's a pub near me that had a fight broke out and I think an ambulance got called, police got called, and a broken window, and it got closed down for a bit until it was under new management, and all the councillors' names had very Muslim-sounding names. There wasn't a single English name that was that was.
Yeah, aren't they the same, Mercian? Aren't they the guys who don't like alcohol, don't like dogs, don't like dogs? Kind of like slaughtering animals by not stunning them and all that bollocks that we hate.
Yeah, I remember when one time I was living in Stoke, where there's a place in Stoke called Sneed, SCNYD, Sneed. There was one pub there called Sneed Arms. That pub closed just as I moved over there because I was going to uni nearby, and that pub later got turned into an NHS centre because the area of Sneed had a lot of Muslim immigration, and of course, Muslim women are too fat to walk into the main town to go to the hospital, so they had to turn a pub into like an NHS centre to all these fat Muslim women.
I've seen
they've all got to go home.
I've seen more than a few pubs
they all have to go home.
I mean, what do you think pubs could do to get more Zoomers back? Because I think they do have to, like, even with the business rates and stuff. I think they've got to come up with some new ideas with that.
You've got to have girls there and blokes there, because that's what you used to do. I mean, I don't know what it's like with you young guys.
The government needs
when I was a young bloke, you went to the pub because there would be some cute cheeky babes there, and you might be able to chat them up. You know, that's why you went.
Well, the government needs to stop cracking down on pubs and give tax relief and shit like that.
I know, but even with that, like that aside, young people still aren't going to them, like Mitch is saying.
Well, so I think Richard, that's easy. Just don't sell Carling. I still don't understand why Carling's a thing. How does that still exist?
Yeah. British pubs have always sold shit beer sometimes, but they also used to sell okay beer. I just think, you know, it's got to be a social thing. Go to the pub, there'll be some cute cheeky babes, and you go there with your mates, and, you know, birds and bees and all natural stuff can happen, you know.
Most people say the biggest nail in the coffin to pubs was the smoking ban.
Yeah,
I don't think that would bring
it was Tharian.
But when it comes to young people, I don't think that's what's holding young people back.
Well, okay, but then I have my dubious issues with young people, as you know. But honestly, I like young people, but you know, this I'm going to be desperately healthy stuff is pretty fucking stupid, to be honest with you. You know, you know what? Nobody survives death. You all die. But yeah, I really think that back in the day, like if I went to the pub with my mates, when we were young, you understand, not when I was older. When I was older, I'd go to a pub because my mates would be there and it was our social club kind of thing. But when I was a young dude, we'd go to the pub because we'd go to a pub where you were almost certain to find a load of cute chickie babes. I mean, that's the truth, you know?
See, I remember those days, and those days happened before the smoking ban, and there was a big change after the smoking ban, massive, and that seems to be the first step to a lot of pubs closing down. In fact, the smoking ban came in about 2007. I reckon you track pub closures before and after 2007. That'll tell you a lot.
Maybe. Well, I've got a message to the American viewers.
100%, by the way, Mercy, you're correct about that. But sorry, Farry.
Yeah. Ranch dressing is terrible.
If I ever eat a kebab, and I don't very often, I do sometimes use ranch dressing.
What is ranch dressing? Because in my head that sounds like garlic mayonnaise to me.
It's mayonnaise with some extra shit.
Yeah, it's mayonnaise with a bit of garlic, I guess.
So why not call it garlic mayonnaise? Why you got to call it ranch dressing?
I don't know. Maybe American ranchers used to use it. You know.
I will say this. I'm a big fan of the sauce combination, and I was a big fan of the garlic mayo and barbecue sauce combination. But my biggest one at the moment, and you might balk at this, if I have a kebab, I like chili mint and mayo together.
Chili mint. I've never had chili mint.
No, chili sauce, mint sauce, and mayo.
Right.
You got to combine also. If your chili's too hot for you, can.
Yeah, I can't do chili.
If you can substitute for ketchup, and that's just as nice.
Oh, it's getting a bit spicy.
Well, ketchup.
Yeah.
Ketchup, yeah. So it's exotic, Yeah.
Never eat one of my curries, Farian, because you won't like it.
I can't. No.
No. But on the other hand, I seldom eat kebabs because
you don't know what the kebab's made out of.
Yeah, there was that poor little English girl. If you,
I was about to make that joke, and I went, no.
It's not a joke. It's not a joke, mate. But
I know it's not. That's why I didn't make the joke. That's why I said it's poor taste to make it.
Well, there was. I mean, you bring up about you don't know what's in them in that previous story, but there is actually a very recent story where I think just in the last month one of the largest kebab meat producers, they tested their batches of their meat and found that it was mostly just like skin and hair and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I bet. I mean, yeah, it's going to be just like the shit off the butcher's floor, basically.
Although maybe it's all the spices they put in that kebab meat, but it tastes good to me.
I do remember from a little while ago, they were sort of trying to crack down on all these like mystery meats in these markets that the diversity have. They want their sort of pangolin and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know whether I think this is a chain, but like there's a kebab place, the German kebab. What's it called? The German kebab place. I like to think because it's German based, that's good. Because it's, I mean, what surprises me about the it's lamb, isn't it? It should be kebab meat. It should be lamb, shouldn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, it's supposed to be lamb or goat. Yes.
Yeah. I just call it German kebab. I'm sort of like, well, the Germans, because Germans
they're going to be Turks.
If it's German, they're going to adamant they're going to be Turks if they're Germans.
Yeah. What I would say is, I mean, German aren't known for their cuisine, but they do some nice meats. Like come on,
the German, some German food is really nice. I mean, good sausages, etc.
That's what I mean. German, like for culinary thing, what the Germans have given us culinary and really nice meats, basically.
Yeah. It's nothing fancy. It's but some nice sausage with some cabbage and some beer. That's But I like the good meat. That's fine. That's fine.
Isn't that kind of like British food, Barry?
Well, I tell you what. I'll tell you what's funny, right? Whenever you hear like a shitlib, like a middle class shitlib talking about diversity, go down the Asda World Food aisle and then compare it to the Waitrose World Food aisle. The Waitrose World Food aisle is just European foods. it's just German sausages and some Italian delicacies and stuff like that. That's all it is ultimately.
Where you get the real shit in Asda.
Yeah.
There's I think it's like that. There's a Tesco's where it's pretty diverse near me, and that aisle, it blows my mind.
What, just a kilo sack of cumin? Just
it's sort of like he's like walking down these Chinese food markets. It's like walking down there, except you see Arabic writing a lot as well.
It's like a Moroccan bazaar, just some
on
a table.
You go to a Tesco that's in a bit of diversity. I'll tell you what, Jesus Christ, there's some interesting labels in there.
Well, wait until they do a buy one get one free on bags of rice. Absolute chaos.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, we're over 1,200 viewers, guys. Honestly, this is probably the best discussion we've ever done because we're talking about sausages and food.
Well, I mean, Local Sheffield just said the security guards at the supermarket are particularly diverse. I mean, I try to not ever go into Morrison's, but there is one very near to me. And I went in there, and I just and it was quite late, and I was looking for chamomile tea bags. And I said to the security guard, I was like, "Do you know where the chamomile is?" And he just hit me with that sort of third world stare, and I was just like, "Oh, never mind." Ended up like schlepping across town to the Sainsbury's to get them.
Yeah, there is. The security industry does seem to have teamed up with like all these immigration lot.
Yeah,
so just seem to get them directly into these security jobs.
No word of a lie. I went into a local co-op by me, and the security there was a woman in a hijab. I was like,
wow!
Nearly, what the? And honestly, she was hiding in the corner, like.
She's not allowed to talk to men.
Of course not. She's not. Adam, what was the most based thing you saw on your recent tour of Spain and southern France?
Oh,
what was the best thing you saw?
Oh, I mean, there were so many. There was a point where I hiked across from Refugio Lazara to Canfranc, and there's just this valley there that's been shaped by a glacier that I saw entirely to myself, like not a soul in sight. That was pretty cool. But
I mean, like politically, ethnically, you know what I mean.
Yeah, not really a great deal. There wasn't, like, funny enough, when I did the first leg of that hike last year, there was lots of like war memorials and statues and stuff like that. There wasn't as much of that in the towns on this one. I say towns, I was more like trudging through very small villages at this point. So no, not a great deal. Just the general lack of diversity, I suppose.
That's always a hopeful, you see these things.
Yeah, that's always something you want to see.
It's
that's what I used to like about the Scottish Highlands. You travel around the Scottish Highlands, there was just no diversity. It was just Scottish Highlanders, basically.
Oh, I did see a Francoist era statue. I think it was in Izaba. Might have been in Ostagavia, though, to Spanish soldiers that fought with the Germans on the Eastern Front, like dedicated to those that lost their lives. I thought that was quite cool.
The famous Blue Division, who actually the Russians said were quite hard to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I did one thing, I mean, not to bang on about the diversity stuff, but I did a hike a few years back in the Dolomites, and it starts off in Lago de Brace, which is a very, very cool place that people can look up. But I didn't actually start there. I actually hiked from the valley floor, so I already had like 5 hours of hiking in me by the time I got to the start point. But when I got there was loads and loads of tour buses, and the place was full to the brim with Pajeets. Like, never seen so many in one place. Obviously, I haven't been to India. And I was like, oh no, what have I got myself in for? And I hiked around.
They never walked there, because
they're on the tour buses, and I walked around the side of the lake, and on the little path that goes around the lake, they're all around there, and then the path turns off and goes up into the mountains. And I turned on that path, and it was just nothing but white people for the next 5 days. Like, I saw one Chinese guy who'd come from Australia, but that was it. Like.
A traveling silk merchant. That's okay.
Yeah. His giant oversized pack and his big oversized hat. Yeah. Oh, you'll buy many. Like, no. He was lovely, but that was basically it.
Where's your next holiday planned, Alman, if I might ask?
I don't know. I'm trying to see if I can do a last minute trip to ride down on my bicycle and watch the 2 penultimate stages of the Tour de France. But I'm probably actually
you're into your cycling, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I'm actually going to do the hike, the coast to coast, the Wainwright's coast to coast from St. Bees to Robin Hood's Bay. I'll probably fit that in, like hopefully in like September or something.
What's your French like, and is it like
atrocious.
workable?
Terrible.
But is it workable? Like, can you make yourself understood?
Yeah, I suppose so. In a pinch. I mean, it's about on the same level as my Spanish. Buena Vista, uno biro, portion of chips, por favor.
My favourite thing about the speaking French is that you might know this, ONG, ripping yarns. The Monty Python star, I forget his name. The one who travelled a lot.
Oh yeah.
Ripping up. But basically, his father spoke in a thick Yorkshire accent, speaking French, so he didn't have to talk to him. So Michael Palin, that's it. Yes, yeah. Oh God, I'm having brain farts today. Yeah, but Michael,
I suffer here, right? I get Americans who will say to me, "I can't understand Mitch." Right now, Mitch speaks, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 languages. I only speak 1. I understand Mitch perfectly well. He's just got a Midlands accent. It's like if we get Morgoth on here, he's got a Geordie accent. No problem. Get a Glaswegian on here.
You know, I know YouTube voice recognition. They can't understand Morgoth. So
yeah, but it's weird because, like, you know, because when I was a little kid, my dad's mates were almost all like Geordies and Glaswegians, really, and they were all ex-military guys. So you can sound like, I don't know, I'm trying to think, much more Glaswegian than, say, Count Dankula, much more. And I can understand them perfectly because, you know, my dad knew guys like that.
Yeah, it's like
50 years ago, you know.
It's like, for me, I don't get why Scots is considered a separate language from English, because I haven't been to Scotland in ages. I don't know many Scottish people IRL, and yet I don't have any problem understanding the Scots when they use it.
It's pretty, mate. I've got to say, it's pretty. I put up a picture of. Hang on, let me check. I put up a picture on my X from a friend of mine who is a Scot. Where? Oh, here we go. From Historical Chronicles. Historical Chronicles is a Scot, and he's a nice guy. And he puts up some beautiful photographs. So I put up Port Rye, which is the Isle of Skye. And if you don't think that's beautiful, you don't understand what beautiful is, to be honest. It's just a beautiful summer's day on the Isle of Skye, and it's so lovely. It's gorgeous, you know.
The ethno state of Scotland is very beautiful.
Well, when it's Scottish, yeah, when it's actually Scottish, you know, like many of the so-called Scottish nationalists in Scotland are not Scottish; they're really Irish.
Well, I mean, the thing is that a lot of us English as well, we can sometimes, I think, be a bit, especially on the right, a little bit fierce on the Scots, because we hear so much from the sort of more lefty Scots, and we kind of think that because they haven't really tasted immigration, they don't really, they're not bought in. But actually, like, if you look at a lot of the sort of public polling data in Scotland, like, Scots are as in anti-immigration as like the English are.
100.
They're they are sort of generally there with us.
I tell you what, though,
Adam, you will have noticed that, like, I like what's his name on our Discord, Craig, right? Craig is a Scottish guy. But he sure don't like mass immigration into Scotland because he's a real Scottish guy, you know.
In Scotland, the Scottish public do need to get over the left wing, like, anti-English psyop. Like, that's all pushed by, like,
much of that is Irish,
right? But the sort of Yeah, but it's like the nationalists are all really pro-immigrants, except for the English.
Yeah,
and
but
they need to get over
that. Much of that anti-English stuff is really Irish. It's not Scottish.
Yeah, like the thing about Scotland is like you see, I mean, let's say Reform, which whatever we might say about them, they are framed as a sort of far right, even in Scotland, where everything is so left wing up there, and plenty of Scots are voting for them. And I don't know what's going to be like for Restore, but I mean, I suppose that's one topic we'll get onto later about Rupert, some of his gaffes lately. But
can I just say to EF3833 in the chat, mate, you should have heard when my accent was really quite heavily South African. That would have really confused you. But anyway,
what did you just keep saying the phrase "bloody kiffer" every time you saw a black guy?
Very, very often, Mitch, very often. All right, since you bring this up, let's talk about Rupert Lowe and Restore Britain. Apparently, Rupert is going on the Joe Rogan podcast. I don't think it's come out yet.
No.
But apparently...
That seems unlikely, though, doesn't it? Like...
I mean, he got Elon Musk talking about him, so Joe could see him through that. It's possible, but... I mean, the source on this is Tom Harwood.
Who is one of the biggest wankers in the entire universe. But he is claiming Rupert's going to do another boomer moment. Now, I think he might actually. Fucking hell, we've nearly got 1,400 viewers. I can't believe that, but whatever. I'm going to do more anti-American posts. I really am. And my original post was not anti-American, believe it or not, but whatever. But yeah, Rupert Lowe apparently is going to do another boomer moment on Joe Rogan. And if we look at this, we're going to see people like Zoomer Historian and Laws and let me think of another one.
Lando.
And also
Basil, the dreaded Basil the Great tweeted 8 hours ago that Rupert Lowe was in Texas, and he's put the little red siren thing in the front, so it must be true.
do you really trust Basil the Great?
No,
Adam?
No,
because I don't actually. I think Basil the Great could be Basil the Great of Tel Aviv quite easily, you know. So I wouldn't trust that. But apparently Rupert's gonna slag off ethno-nats. I'm an ethno-nat. I am. Sorry. I think Britain should belong to the Anglo-Celtic people. Nobody else. I don't know. Adam Cooper's saying Lowe is fumbling hard.
I mean, yeah, but like, I'll be honest, I don't really care that much. Like, people are coming out and they're like, "Oh, he said he's against the ethno-nationalists." I don't. I mean, it's kind of been a bit cringe more how everyone else has reacted to this, because like there was a video. I was out on the move today, and Sargon made this video that I watched, and he was like doing the whole thing where like he was on the edge of trying to do the whole intellectualize the term nationalist again, and it's like, I don't think I've ever described myself as an ethno-nationalist, and I don't really give one shit for the term generally. I don't even really like subscribe to the idea of being this, that, or the other. I just want to send the buggers back, and that's kind of my only real position.
Heard them on the aircraft and send them home.
And it's like and it's like, as soon as you introduce these terms and then everyone talks about these terms, whether it's derogatorily or not, you end up with this thing where, like, I had all these people on Instagram comments where I made some comment on there, and these people were like, "Well, I'm against ethno-nationalism because my wife is whatever," and it's like, okay, great, but like, even if you go to like Mark Collette, like probably one of the more hardline, like mainstream ethno-nationalists in quotes, even he's like, oh, we want Britain to be like 92, 94% white. And it's like, yeah, sorry, it's like, don't worry, bros. All your wives are staying. What was that? What was that guy?
No one wants to shut your wife out.
Yeah,
this is just bollocks.
Yeah, and what was that? What was the Ghanaian? What was it? Something footlong or whatever that podcast.
Liam Tuff's mate.
Liam Tuff. Oh, my Ghanaian mate, footlong.
Is he English? Is my Ghanaian mate English?
It's still nice to see my immigration policy is going strong with even the ethnats.
I loved that show with Steve Laws and the kind of like medium bloke. I can't remember his name now, but the medium dude turned around and said, "My Ghanaian mate." And Steve Laws just looked at him and said, "Well, haven't you just answered your own question? If he's your Ghanaian mate, he ain't British, is he?"
Yeah, it's funny. I remember Stormzy about a start of the England-Ghana match. Like, there was that BBC journalist saying, "You're an Englishman, Stormzy," and he's just looking around, going, "What?" Like, he's just looking around as if to think, "What, you think of me an Englishman?" Like, I think, and so Stormzy doesn't even consider himself English. And then he goes on to say, "Well, he wants Ghana to get a point and all this." And it's like, even like they can't help themselves. A lot of the diversity, just to say they're Ghanaian or something. It's just,
the thing
it's
is
just
as well,
goal.
Because we were talking about the football thing earlier, I was going to bring up, like, as a bit of a shit thing, is Ian Wright British, right? Because it's like, I obviously do believe in the idea of like the British people's being a collection of ethnic groups, but it's like, someone mentioned on Twitter the other day, they're like, "Oh, there's this old documentary where he's talking about stuff, Ian Wright, and he says like, oh, when we won the war, talk about World War II with like no pause, no irony, no look around, like the David Lammy or something like that." And it's like, you do find, I mean, I can't believe I'm making this point. I know people are going to go, "Oh, gay," in the comments, but like, there is an extent to which integration does work. Admittedly, the numbers have to be so low that.
Well, this was Enoch Powell's position.
Yeah.
As very few can.
Yeah.
I think everyone can accept that.
I could be wrong, but didn't Ian Wright support reparations for slavery a few years
ago?
ago?
Never mind, he's deported then.
Oh, maybe.
It's like Lenny Henry as well. I remember growing up thinking Lenny Henry was like, not like a black British. But then Lenny Henry writes a book.
I hear Ainsley Harry isn't for this though, for some reason.
I mean, this could be a thing like back in the day when we were still, over 95% ethno-state. Like these guys, like Ian Wright and stuff, they didn't have a choice. Like none of this like reparations nonsense existed for them. Whereas now the culture's been so subverted, it's sort of, it's coming out in them. They're sort of their treachery.
So Ian Wright has Ian, hang on. Ian Wright, like, let's get the record straight, right? Ian Wright has publicly advocated for reparations for disadvantages in women's football. Which is just the weirdest angle.
What is that?
Do you know what I want, Alan? I want reparations for Britain from all of the Africans and the West Indians, because we lost so many thousands of sailors and Royal Marines, and we spent so much money. I think all of those countries owe us money because we were the guys who stopped slavery.
Well, also, what about all that infrastructure we bought to their countries? Trains?
Yeah. I mean, go to Jamaica and find anything the British did not build.
Well, Mercian,
or India.
I mean, well, look, I've crunched the numbers, and after all the stolen bicycles, they actually owe us money. That's my official position.
Yeah, they owe us money. I want British reparations from India and the whole, all of the Black and Brown Empire owe Britain huge amounts of money, and we should take it. We should.
Yeah, I will say there is a such thing as black integration. I mean, for example, if there was no black integration, how do you get Uncle Ruckus?
Yeah.
Well, he just has reverse vitiligo. Also,
Yeah,
Mercian, have you considered, Mercian, that all that infrastructure is now dirt again? That was pretty racist of us.
Yeah, go watch the excellent documentary, which I think you can find on YouTube, called Empire of Dirt, where this Chinese guy is going around this ex-Belgian colony and trying to work out why the Africans in the Congo had just let all this stuff go to shit.
Well, he's just trying to buy some gravel. That's all he wants.
Yeah, and even that he finds difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I did actually have a look. There was this guy on Instagram, this black guy, and he's been doing this stuff where he's like, "Oh, you say we live in mud huts? Look at all these buildings," and he just posts. It's just lots of buildings in Africa that were built by the British or by the French. But there is one where he shows like this skyline, and I looked at the skyline. And it was Ethiopia. I forget the name of the capital city of Ethiopia, but
Addis Ababa.
Yeah, that's the one. And I looked up the Ethiopian Bank Tower, which is the tallest building there, built by the Chinese. Like,
this reminds me of the whole
surprise.
Reminds me of the whole.
Guys, we are approaching 1,500 viewers.
Jesus,
that's the highest we've ever had. I'm gonna do more anti-American posts.
There you go.
Yes.
And I didn't even do an anti-American post. I just
pointing out a fact. That's all you do.
Yeah, you know.
Hang on. So
that's all I do. That's all I do. I just point out facts too.
I just wish we had my American friend Aubrey on at the moment, because I could say to her, Aubrey, go tell your American relatives that, you know, we're not totally evil. I mean, yeah, all right, we're evil redcoats and we beat you in every battle, but whatever.
Oi, Yankees taxes now.
Well, so hang on, I've just lost it.
Well, one of the things I love about, you know, the idea of Mansa Musa, because they love Mansa Musa claiming he was the richest person ever, and in Timbuktu, but it's mud huts.
He was an Arab. He was an Arab, though,
right? But Timbuktu, like the great, I think it's a great mosque in Timbuktu. It's a big mud hut. Like, is this really the best that the richest person, the richest African ever could do is a mud hut?
Well, yeah, because
did they build? It's so sad. It's like,
did they build anything better? No, they didn't.
No.
You know.
But on the drinks thing, though, so we had this thing recently where in our office we kept going down to Aldi when they did the various different like cultural food things down there. And we were getting this, and one of the guys there, one of my fellow racists in the office, picked up a grape. Is it a grape soda that the
purple drink?
African Americans, were drinking, and they stopped making it, and he was complaining that he couldn't get hold of it anymore. So we were going around town to all the various, you know, ethnically owned shops, and we found this brand that's made. I think it's made in Jamaica. It's called Bigger.
Yeah, with a B, everyone. With a B.
Yeah, with a B. When someone says Jamaica, when someone says Jamaica, you know you have to say no. She went of her own accord. But I honestly, this is so pathetic, isn't it? The only ethnic soft drink I have any time for is I Am Brew, which is a Scottish drink. And it's made from girders.
So do we take it then as defied Mars bars, or just serve as a special?
No. Listen, guys, I'm saying soft drink, ethnic soft drink. The only one I have any time for is I Am Brew, and that's made from girders in Scotland. So there you go.
Yeah, we'll have to check back with Craig to see if the ethnic, if deep fried Mars bars count as exotic foreign food.
I tell you what, Mitch,
they're not a soft drink, are they? They're not a soft drink. So
I've had a fair few deep fried Mars bars. They are beautiful. They're one of the nicest things I've ever eaten. Honestly, don't put your nose up to a deep fried Mars bars until you've tried one.
Yeah, I should try.
I like Vindaloo curry, but doesn't mean I want Indians in my country.
Alphabet catches named Bing. Love Bing.
We need the recipe, not them. I mean, like,
I don't need them. I only need the recipe. My grandfather, who was an NCO in India between the two world wars, he made great curries. He wasn't all that keen on Indians.
Tokyo is like the pizza capital outside of Italy. There's no Italians there.
But here's the thing: if you ever notice, it only applies to like the subcontinental Asians and the Middle Easterns and the Africans, because you can go to Yo Sushi and there's not a Japanese person serving you.
Yeah.
But to get really good Japanese food, you do need a Japanese person, to be honest. But I'm biased.
Oh, this is some libtard shit now.
I'm biased about that. Yeah, I'm biased about
that. Obviously, we make everyone's food better. That's just what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Duke's Japanese girlfriend is making him burn the voice a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to put his kimono on.
Don't tell us he's going to commit seppuku after I said that.
Yeah, I just went to commit seppuku. But no, my Japanese girl does make me biased about this. I have to say, she's pretty good, and she does sucky long time $10 really good.
Oh.
So whatever. But yeah, and she is
right,
listening. She's
all
listening.
of the
she is listening to this, so she'll laugh at that. But okay.
Anglicized ethnic food anyway. So
yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, look. I'm not saying that you don't want an actual person from the actual place to do your food for the best food, but the shitty British curry and kebabs you get all over the fucking country, they're all shit anyway.
I tell you what, I'll take any British curry over an authentic Indian curry. You want to go to the Indian subcontinent and having a curry from an actual curry bazaar or whatever they're called, rather than any English one.
You'll get an upset tummy if
he scrubs the bowl with his fucking foot sponge.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you won't want to eat that, guys.
Or we can spice things by having that Norwegian guy in Mumbai do some curry for us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really bad when the Africans are making fun of your hygiene levels, as they did with the Indians. Like, if Africa is beating you, or you've messed up.
See, the thing, one thing I will find funny is, so when you get ethnic minorities over here, they generally tend to be insufferable. But when you look up what, let's say, for example, the Mexicans in Mexico post over the internet, or what Africans in Africa will say, I will say I can't complain about the internet too much regarding most kind of people at times. Because you ask your average Ugandan on Twitter, what do they think about the pride flag? Very spicy material. Or let's say ask Anna. Oh yeah. Let's say, especially Japanese. Like apparently, like if you ask the average Japanese, what do they think about black people? They can say some things we can't say in English, but they'll say in Japanese. And it's
the Japanese will say that about other Southeast Asian people, let alone Africans. For God's sake.
I mean, we've got to remember Idi Amin was a white supremacist. He wanted England for the English.
Last king of Scotland, apparently.
Uganda for Uganda. Ugandans for Uganda, and England for English. I can live with that, Edie. That's fine.
Yeah, Sam in the
and then Britain took all these Asians, And within 3 or 4 years of Britain taking all of Idi Amin's Uganda Asians, every single corner shop in Britain was owned by these people. And then you wonder, why did Idi Amin kick them out? It's almost like a certain small hat group, you know?
Yeah, it's like wasn't Priti Patel one of those Ugandan Asians, and look what she did to us. So I think Idi Amin was more correct than people thought at the time. But now
that's worse than you think, because like how do the Continentals see England? I mean, before diversity, as a nation of shopkeepers. Like, you know,
well, no, hang on, Mercian. As a nation whose navy used to come and destroy them from time to time, and when we really put our minds to it, the British Army used to come and beat them as well. That's how Europeans used to see the British. But yeah.
Well, I mean, apart from those tropes, that saw us as a nation of shopkeepers as well. I mean, I'm not thinking militarily.
No, you're being confused by Napoleon's bullshit, mate. Honest, you are.
I'm not saying that's the word. I'm not saying that's how the Europeans. What I'm trying to say is that sort of like, there's always an element of truth sometimes when people have like a generalization.
Yeah, Britain used to be a big trading nation where it was easy to go and buy things in shops. But if you were an actual European rather than Napoleon talking bollocks, what you would really notice is that from time to time, this island nation, their navy would turn up and really hammer you, and you'd be fucked. Well, and occasionally, like in the peninsula, for example, the British Army would turn up and also hammer you.
I'm also thinking about like the corner shop that used to be owned by Arkwright of Open All Hours, rather than Ahmed or whoever. You know, the corner shops used to be owned by British people.
Yeah. You're right. Look,
yeah, I mean, Napoleon's point was just about how like basically an island of like small individual self-employed business owners and stuff.
British guys used to go and open their own business
rather than big state institutions. That's what Napoleon's thing was.
100%. And also, Mercier, and you're correct. Like when I was born in 1965. That's how old I am. But when I was a little boy, if my dad was a bit skint, he could go next door to Rose's, which was our little general store, and her husband ran the local garage. And she would say to my dad, yeah, all right, you can have £2 on tick until Thursday, you know? And Frank, who ran the local tobacconist and cigarettes and sweet store, would do the same thing because they all knew each other, and it was fine, you know.
And I've got to say, I mean, like, you know, Loafer Sheffield's talking about, you know, because I mentioned it Open All Hours, but I'd rather enjoy being ripped off by an Arkwright character than a Vikram character any day of the week. There's something charming about being ripped off by an Arkwright character.
I mean, like Shabama Mahmood's new immigration stuff, that's going to allow all these like kebab shops to say that they need like to sponsor all their cousins to come over because they're skilled workers in all these vape shops and stuff. Yeah.
I mean that's what high street is kebab shops, vapes, and Turkish barbers.
Yeah. It's all money laundering. I mean, like, I think Morgoth made the point, like, was Keir Starmer actually the one holding all this back? Like, Like, was he the one? Because it's funny that this all this immigration stuff comes out as he's leaving.
I mean, allegedly, he did bring immigration down to 80,000 a year, but it's still down from where it was.
How much of that was because of people leaving?
It's convenient, basically. That's what it is. It's convenient. Adam has left us because Ammon is a working dude and he's got to get up for the morning. Thank you very much, Ammon, for joining us this evening. Always welcome. But yeah, no, they're going to pile as much on Tutia Kerstama as they possibly can. But, obviously, Burnham is not going to be any better. He's also a socialist arsehole, basically.
Yeah, Burnham is going to burn through his credibility quite quickly because it's like, he keeps talking about how much he loves Oasis, how much he loves the North, or a proper Northerner, and also, what was it? Oh yeah, he wants to bring. He wants to instead of being in 10 Downing Street, he wants to have it set up in Manchester. And I'm thinking,
oh, come on, get a grip, man.
Yeah, but I think he's the first prime minister to argue for not being in 10 Downing Street since Howard Wilson. And okay, good. Howard Wilson was, yeah. But, yeah. I wonder how long. It won't be long before, because I reckon whatever PR the North had in its favour is going to disappear by the time Burnham's gone.
Yeah.
So like even George Orwell was writing about how the Northerners. To be fair, I can't shit on the Northerners too much because my nan was from Yorkshire and she used to say "A up" or whatever. George Orwell was writing back in the 30s and 40s about how the Northerners always had this thing about saying, "Oh, well, we're proper North, we're proper English, we work our grits, unlike those effeminate Southerners," and blah blah blah.
This is like the old Labour sort of thing. Like, yeah, a lot of the production was done up north, and then the South figured out how to actually do stuff with it. But these days, like, the North doesn't make anything.
And Scousers, as Alphabet Cat points out, they're mostly Irish, really.
Yeah, they are.
To be honest, they are. There's many good, funny Scousers, but on the whole, they're Irish.
Mitch, we live in a similar area. I just keep thinking to myself, because if you live in a similar, you'll hear two things about the Midlands where we live. It's number one, Penkridge was supposed to be the capital of Britain. I know you've ever heard that one, Mitch. Or the other one is Tamworth was the capital of Mercia.
Yeah.
And so, what claim does Manchester have to be a capital anyway?
Yeah, it's like there was a brief time when Lichfield was like the archbishopric rather than Canterbury, but that was only like during King Offa, I think it was. But because Manchester. I think Manchester only really became a big city because of the Industrial Revolution as well. It's not like it's always been a massive city compared to someone like Tamworth or someone like Winchester.
But Birmingham, Mitch, Birmingham was the second. I was talking about this to Mercian before we went live. Birmingham has always been the second biggest city in England, and it was industry. It was mines, and it was making stuff. It was cotton mills. It was these kilns that used to make all the pottery, and Birmingham was always the second biggest city in England.
Well, it depends. In the Middle Ages, it was more. I think it was the second biggest city was either Nottingham or York. But I think it's the Industrial Revolution really helped Birmingham because the thing was Birmingham comes from it comes from Birmingham comes from Beorn, which is basically there's a tribe after the Beormings. So in other words, it's from an Anglo-Saxon tribe called Beorming, and then it changed to Birmingham over time.
Actually, the Industrial Revolution started in Ironbridge near it's in Shropshire, I think.
Things near
the reason Birmingham. I think the West Midlands kind of overtook because the Staffordshire coal seam. it was just easier to get all the raw materials and nearer the West Midlands. But I think he actually started near.
There was a lot of iron there as well, Mercian, and at some stage, guys, we are going to do our at least two-part series on the British car industry, which is going to be heavily based in the Midlands of Britain. Whenever Mercian gets ready to do it, although I know he's got various things going on at the moment.
Yeah,
but I mean, what does the North have these days, though? Yeah, but Andy wants to send more money up there, but for what?
Well, they got good people.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Like, they're not making anything anymore.
Yeah,
this is fine, but okay, but we have to change that, don't we?
Yeah, but I don't see Andy doing that.
Well, no, Andy Burnham won't change that, but somebody like Rupert Lowe might.
Well, I mean, because the thing is, you get. I mean, what is a northern the northern powerhouse as what? Like, I mean, the Tories created that phrase.
Yeah.
But let's say Andy Burnham, his idea of a northern powerhouse is just literally just always just nostalgia. That's literally just it. You know, the whole "don't look back in anger," that kind of thing, more than anything akin to what Morgoth.
Yeah, fuck that bastard. What I want is people, you know, like northern shipbuilding, northern guys on the River Tyne and the Clyde and what have you, building British warships.
I mean, we should have like robotics factories and stuff, and all these.
Well, yeah,
things should be
that too, but you still need people building your warships and your tanks.
Well, this is what I mean. Like, we should have I'd love to see stuff being made there, but as it stands, it's basically just, we send you more benefits. Let's pillage from London. Not that London's great, because London's all just.
At the moment, it's a waste, Tharium.
Yeah.
And poor people like Mitch and Mercian and other people, there isn't anything for them to do. You know, I mean, I know that people like Mitch and Mercian will find their own deals, but the thing is, there should be big industries there that are vital to Britain, and that's what the people there should be able to come out of school, go do that. You know, that we've got to get back to that. I know I've done streams with Adman, for example, about reindustrialization. I think Mercian was on one of those as well.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, and yeah, we've got to do that. If Britain is going to be a serious country, we have to have these industrial areas who can make things.
And I said we need to be more modern as well, because we need to get the chipset to make to get the I forgot what it's called now. I'm having brain farts tonight, guys.
Yeah, those ARM processors, that was a British company, and then sold it out to foreigners.
Yeah. But what I mean is the only place in the world that can make the we're down to 2 nanometers now.
TSMC.
That's the only place in the world that can get to that kind of level. I mean, there are other chip manufacturers like Texas has some, Japan has some, but they can't get to that nanometer process. So you need to use ultraviolet light to get there, and you need special. And for some reason, Taiwan is the only place on the in the world that has the ability to make a 2 nanometer chip. And
I mean,
why can't that be in Britain?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100, mate. But I mean, you know, even in the 1960s or 70s, if you bought a pair of shoes in Britain or a pair of work boots or whatever it might be, they were made in the Midlands. If you went and bought your knife and fork set. If you knew someone who was getting married and you bought them a cutlery set for their marriage, made in the Midlands, we've got to get back to that, where there is this industrial heartland, because you can't survive as an independent country if you don't make anything. You just can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, look how rich China is. That didn't do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can't imagine what the Chinese were thinking when the Americans turn up and go, "Hey, do you want to take all our manufacturing?" Okay. This has got to be some sort of trick here. They can't
look at Chinese shipyards where they can build 10 warships a year, and Britain can't build 3.
And their dockyards as well. The amount of freight that goes through Chinese dockyards is insane. Like, they got like single shipyards that are more than the entirety of the United States capacity, because they've got high tech, like very automated shipyards now.
1,700 viewers, guys. Fucking hell! All right, I don't know. We're not talking about especially interesting stuff, although I do think reindustrialization of Britain is important, and yeah, the Midlands and the North are places we should reindustrialize. Like, the best coal in the whole wide world is under Wales. It's the best, most cleanest burning, least nasty coal in the whole world.
I don't think coal is the way to go. I just think if you
I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying
you're just going to be
seeing it only way to go, but it is one way to go.
Just go small modular nuclear reactors for each county.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure, Mitch. Listen, I'm totally in favour of what you're saying, but you know what? Welsh coal is the best coal in the world.
Okay, but we're not mining coal, though, are we?
Yeah,
no one wants to go back to it, Roger. That's the thing. Like, it's gone. Like, I don't think
when you say no one, India and China does.
Yeah, because they're shit.
We're not, Dude,
right?
For God's sake, they're shit.
They don't want to be on coal. They'd love to be like all like high tech and stuff, but they're just shit.
But they're not, because coal's cheaper and better. All right. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going on this route.
I agree with Mitch. Like, if we want to sell people,
all greenies are cunts. Basically.
Well, it's not about being green.
It's an own goal to say, well, we should go back to mining coal because, well, whatever you might say about people, about all the green stuff, like, the fact is, I just go, look, I just go nuclear. Just go nuclear. No one needs to
do that too, Mitch. Let's do that too. But let's use every single energy resource that we have to make everything as cheap as possible for British people.
I mean, I feel like the North Sea, drilling in the North Sea is that's more important than the coal.
Oh, listen, I'm not arguing what is what. But you know what? Welsh coal is the best, most efficient, cleanest burning coal in the world. And we should have a couple of coal mines in Wales, which are fully automated, and no guys stripped to the waist, like picking coal out. None of that bollocks. But a couple of those would help Britain and would make our energy cheaper. And everything that makes our energy cheaper makes our people richer.
Duke, you do know, once you say mining coal, it doesn't matter what you say afterwards. No one will listen to that, though.
Yeah, but that's because you're a young dude, Mitch, and you've taken too much on board from greenies.
It's nothing to do with green. It's just people hear that and they just think, like poverty and going
Well,
backwards.
okay,
That's
they're
the
wrong.
problem.
But okay,
I know, but
Arian,
that's what they
just wrong.
think.
They're just wrong. Okay,
Duke, no one's going to listen to that. Though. That's a point.
You're thinking about bringing back British Steel and all that as well. You know.
Yeah, I'd like to bring back British Steel and Mercian. I know that's probably wrong too, right? Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
Well, we have nuclear powered coal. That's steel. That's the way you do it.
Yeah, fine, but do both. All you're trying to do is get your energy costs down.
Yeah. I mean, even just as things stand at the moment, just get rid of the green taxes on fuel.
Well, yeah,
that would have
huge, and destroy all of the bird killing turbines. Absolutely.
Yeah, but by the way, to all our American friends, I assume are watching now, I just want to point out, because I buy premium diesel because I've got a really old van now, and
Mercian, you do know, don't you, that America still has quite a lot of good coal mines. Quite a lot, actually.
Well, I mean, in places like Texas and California, they're drilling their own oil.
But they have coal mines like in the north of America. They still have some. You do know that, don't you?
I thought, yeah. Don't they have a few in like Georgia and Alabama as well?
I've no idea, but up north in America, they have them for sure.
Right. Okay. I thought they had a few. I could be mistaken. No, but what I was going to say is, like, I wanted to put it in context for any American watchers about how I feel, because I have to buy premium diesel because I've got my engine's done nearly 200,000 miles, so I put premium diesel in to keep cleaning it out. Right. It's like $12 a gallon.
Yeah.
Well, America produces more oil than it uses, right? But they also still have coal mines. I'm sorry, this is what I'm not getting with you guys on Mitch.
No, it's fine.
I'm not saying that Britain should depend on coal, not at all. But it's another thing we could use. Woodpit is rightly saying Pennsylvania and West Virginia. Loads of coal mines there still. They're all private. They're all really automated.
Yeah.
And
I'm just saying.
All I'm saying. Britain should have a couple of those, as well as nuclear and North Sea.
I think if you want to sell coal, you've got to sell it as a transitionary thing. Like, okay, this is us transitioning to the new high-tech nuclear stuff.
I don't agree at all. I think the greenies are insane. Fuck them.
It's not about the green. It's not about the green stuff.
Well, then what are you talking about then?
It's just people if you say, "Oh, all coal powered everything," it's just a lot of people feel like.
When did I say coal power everything? When did I say that?
I'm not. I'm just saying, when people hear, like Mitch is saying, when people hear,
they hear coal and they think old fashioned. Is that what you're saying?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
well, I think people think. I don't care.
I think people think steam trains and things like that, sort of like.
Yeah, get fucked. Don't care. All right, I don't care about any of that. Do you know Australia makes enormous amounts of money from coal? But we're not allowed to use it in Australia, like all out.
Brilliant.
Duke,
power stations.
UK were talking about coal 10 years ago, and it went down like a wet fart. Like, it just didn't really work. So that's the point. It's just a boomer hangover. Just
all right. Look, can I finish, Mitch? Australia produces enormous amounts of coal, right? And we're not allowed to use it anywhere. And as a result, my energy bill is 5 times what it was 15 years ago, right? But do you know where all the Australian coal goes?
China.
Yeah.
China. Chinese ships come pick it up, take it to China, where they build 50 coal-fired power stations every single year, which is why all of this green bollocks is bollocks. Because if Britain and Australia don't produce any CO2 at all, it's still going up 25 times in China and India and Indonesia and various other places. It's just bollocks. You've got to get across to these young people that if you're going to look at global shit, right, look globally.
Well, can we say, because you've mentioned green, can we segue to green and the recent heat wave we've had?
One thing on China. The Chinese are currently making me a new bow, so that's probably being made with Australian coal. So thanks for that.
Yeah, there you go, man. There you go. I listen. We're almost up to 1,800 of viewers. I should stop the stream now, just because we're so. But no, look, guys. All I'm saying, I don't want Britain to go back to the old days of black smoke all over the place.
Yeah,
all I want Britain to do is have a couple of really efficient and modern Welsh coal mines, which is the best coal it is the best coal in the world. Back in the day, it was all reserved for the Royal Navy because it made Royal Navy ships 2 knots faster than any other ship because it was so much better coal, right? The Germans envied British coal, right? The French did. But just to help and reduce the energy bills.
Yeah, you've just got to like sell it like that rather than otherwise people will think, oh, we're going back to the days of smoke.
No, not what I want at all. Yeah. No, I absolutely want nuclear power. I want North Sea oil. I want Falklands oil. Everything that's in the British sphere, we should use to provide cheap energy for our people, because cheap energy makes you rich. That's all I'm trying to say, guys. I don't want to go back to the 19th century, not at all.
No, I mean, I understand. Like, for example, in like to make steel, you need to make a serious amount of heat, and coal makes sense for that.
You need coke to make
exactly.
steel.
That's what
coke comes from coal.
So it would help us in our metallurgy needs. Although I think aluminium is an electrolysis process, isn't it? Like you take the raw material and things like that.
I mean, like we've like they mentioned about like GDP, but there's also like if you'd look at total energy production in countries, that's interesting. I think that because, like you say, energy is everything really, and China over twice of the United States,
and they're buying enormous amounts of coal from Australia, for example. But and they build 50 coal-fired power stations every year, which means no cuts in emissions from Britain or Australia make the slightest difference in the world, because China is producing way more than that. So's India, so's Indonesia. And if you added up all the other Southeast Asian countries, that would also more than cover it 5 times. It's just bullshit. It's a lie. There is no purpose in Britain cutting this stuff. It makes no difference on a world scale at all.
The whole green thing. I mean, like it was very difficult to have this conversation with a few people last week because we were in the middle of a heat wave, and it was stifling, and it's sort of like, oh, this climate change and the
wasn't that when the left wing said that air conditioning is
extreme
right wing?
We'll get to that, but first, I just want to point out to everybody this is an El Nino year, which might explain the heat waves.
Are you sure it's not fascism?
Yeah,
it might be fascism.
It's fascism, Farron. It is. The climate is becoming fascist. That's what I think it is.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
The climate's becoming fascist.
Well,
And you know what? Britain never had a 40-degree couple of days in the summer 100 years ago or 50 years ago. But actually, if you go and look, yes, we did. Yes, we did.
I mean, the heat wave last week, I think the peak was 36, 37 degrees, something like that.
But Britain's always had those, it happens from time to time. And it's glorious when it does, I think. But
but yes, you are right. It's sort of like because people are starting these starting to get hotter all the time. And I've said for many years, if the climate crisis is true, then wouldn't it be great to have cheap energy and have air conditioning, and then it's no longer a problem.
It's fascist. It's fascist, Mercy.
There was that one woman on the BBC or something saying that air conditioning raises the outside air temperature by 10 Celsius.
Yeah.
Well, okay, just the entire atmosphere is quite a big heat sink. It's
with your thermodynamics, sort of like all transfers of energy want to get to parity with each other.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd this is a bit like how they take the temperature on the middle of an airfield. Yeah, okay, I've taken the temperature
that's all the way they always do it now, Farrier.
Yeah,
because that enables them to give the highest possible temperature.
Yeah, just after a jet's taken off as well. We run out, get into the wash. Yeah.
I mean, just look at and you can find this on YouTube. It's not hard. You can see weather forecasts from 30 or 40 years ago in Britain, where the same temperatures are shown as today, but today everything is bright. We're all gonna die red. Whereas back in the day, it was just yellow.
I mean, there were times in the Middle Ages when huge rivers like the Seine and the Rhine all just ran dry because we had the medieval warm period.
Guys, do we want to talk about this that blue-pilled E5T is talking about? Because I was talking to Farium about this before we went live. And given we've got nearly 1,800 viewers, I would listen. This is what I think, and you guys can say what you think afterwards. I think that Aaron Hook was absolutely correct, and that Restore should not have stood in that by-election. And the reason I think that is that Carl Benjamin and everyone from the Lotus Eaters was talking up how big the vote was going to be. Now, I'm not an idiot, and I never thought that Restore Britain were going to win that seat, but I did think they might get 10%, maybe 12%. So when we got 7%, which is entirely respectable for a political party that had only started a couple of months before, I was a little bit disappointed. I think some other people are a lot more than a little bit disappointed with that. And I think that's the fault of people like Connor Tomlinson and the Lotus Eaters. But I know both of you guys like Restore Britain, especially Tharium. So what do you think about that, guys?
Well, you know my thoughts. I really feel like it wasn't the loss so much as they're not getting to double digits. The 7% really felt like a kick in the teeth. We were promised double digits, 20% maybe.
I mean, I feel like this would have been the case wherever the first by-election was. I think we would have had these problems again with people getting a bit too overexcited about everything.
Did we need to do it, Thorium? Though I think,
I think it would have happened.
Aaron's right in retrospect. We shouldn't have bothered.
Well,
I think this was
Aaron's right in the respect that the Restore wasn't going to win, and their ergo, what can't win, don't try. But I do agree with what Rupert Lowe was saying about like we're a political party, we should stand.
Mm-hmm.
We should just sort of rein in our expectations just a little bit more.
Yeah, I feel like this, like I said, I think this was inevitable. This sort of disappointment. Because, like, look at every political party. Like, none of them, like, their first by-elections were nowhere near 7%. Like, Nigel Farage's would never got there. But so it's a good first result. But it's like, but it's sort of, we were so excited. There's so much energy. People were going in.
I wasn't that excited for him.
No, but you know what I mean. There was, and I think,
yeah.
I think really everyone needed a bit of a taste of reality, and we'd have been getting this one day or another. This was going to happen.
Now,
but I know what you mean. But yeah.
I think we'd have been better off just working on local branches and whatever. The other thing is an EF 3833 here is going to the point of this. The collapse of Restore. Now, I suspect EF 3833 is a reform fag, and I'm not. But I may be wrong. And if I am,
he's put it in quotation marks. So
yeah. Right, but apparently, and I haven't seen this yet, we've all seen Rupert Lowe doing his boomer moments on his Jewish podcasts. And apparently he's due on Joe Rogan soon, and he's going to do the same thing again. Now, if he does, that's the biggest fucking piss off.
Well, that was the idea of him doing the same thing again. That was just Tom Harwood being.
Yeah, I know. I know.
He's like no one. It hasn't happened yet. That's right.
Exactly. We haven't seen it yet. But I detest that guy. He's gay and he's anti-British. But if he's right, it's a big fuck up. Honestly, it is. And I follow other people on the right. I'm on the right, guys, in case you didn't know this. I follow people like Millennial Woes and Morgoth and Steve Laws and Zuma Historian and what have you. And many of these people, if he does it again on Joe Rogan, many of these people are just going to say, fuck you, but they are. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we were talking before this stream, and I did point out, because we've said in an earlier episode of Splendid Isolation, where we all talked about how much of a Thatcherite Rupert Lowe is months ago.
Yeah.
Months ago, and how boomer he really is. So this should not be...
No one with a working brain thinks that Rupert Lowe is an ethno-nationalist. He's not. He's a Thatcherite fan. He reads Ayn Rand, for God's sake. I mean, give me a break, all right?
Yeah, I mean, Sargon got into... he angered a lot of these people yesterday with his video saying, look, you are not the base. You are the vanguard, okay, to these guys. And I do agree with Sargon on that. Like, you're like, okay, like Steve, as much as I'd like Steve Law's position, we are playing electoral politics. and we can't just go in say all the foreigners out, because we have to undo decades.
Absolute Tharium. I totally agree. But you know what? Don't chuck your
I agree.
under the bus.
And
don't.
And Rupert hasn't. You know, he wasn't like, you know, these people are getting a bit too sensitive, because like if it was Reform or the Tories, they'd have the Inquisition out, find them and kick them out of the party. Rupert was giving these people like, I know his English ethno-nationalist thing, that's a boomerism. He just meant Nazis. But you know, when he's saying, I'm not going to hunt you down and kick you out, okay, that's you should be able to work with that. Calm down, right? You're not being kicked out. Just calm down.
I'm just finding this hard, Varian, because I'm just told even mentioning coal is like enough to destroy everything I believe in. But apparently you're going to have to be like really careful what you say about ethno-nationalists.
No, it's just, you've just got to
convincing me, Farium, at the moment.
I think you like if we're playing electoral politics, right? And you've got to undo decades of psyop. I think we can do it because we are the natural order of things.
The worst thing, so I don't know, I mean to cut you off, Farrell, I need to say, the worst thing that is about this whole off is the Reform fags are dancing a fucking jig right now. And if you hate Reform fags, you need to.
Well,
you know what I mean?
they are fags, Mercy, and you got to realize this. Because
I know I don't dance a jig about it.
They're the teal Tories, and they won't change a damn thing. But
yeah, I just sort of like they're dancing a jig at the moment. All the Reform fags that me and Tharium have silenced over the past few months, they've all started again. They're all, you know, it might be safe to see.
Yeah. It's just how fair weather these sorts of some of these people are being. When it's like, as soon as like it's just, you can't stick with anything.
All I'll say to you, Farium, is coal. All right, really good coal. Okay, gotta. You see what I'm trying to say here? I know you do, because you're an intelligent dude. But all right.
Well, it's the same thing with the coal, right? It's like, just you've got to, you just to be a bit more tact in how you.
It's not that I want chimneys all over England streaming out like smoke. I want
and we've got to sell
good coal mines.
And we've got to work at selling them that ethno-nationalism isn't death squads going around, right?
No,
and this is what
no.
And this is unfortunately
what. Give me an SLR rifle and a bayonet, and I will absolutely escort Pakistani families onto an aircraft or a ship. I will, all of them. But I promise I won't hurt any of them so long as they get on the aircraft and go home. Don't want to hurt any of them. I really don't. I just want them to leave.
Yeah. And it's because, I mean, like, it's just, I feel like these people are overestimating themselves a bit. And like, everyone just needs to calm down and have a bit of humility about everything.
Yeah, look. I know Steve Laws wants everyone gone, right?
Yeah.
And I 95% agree with Steve Laws, but I'm not gonna get rid of a few half British people, because I just wouldn't. But there's not going to be many of them. No. I want Britain to be about 95% white Anglo-Celtic British.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
It's like Lo said himself. It's sort of like we'll get rid of criminals and sponges first. It's sort of like you can't ask any more than that, really.
Like even Steve Law's own like immigration plan starts like this, with this same stuff, on his way to 100%. So it's like he's following the first steps of your plan, Steve. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get the first steps done first, right? Because you're not going to get that with anyone else. So,
I mean, who else?
The Restore Britain pledge is that millions will go. If you are an illegal immigrant, you're gone. If you are an immigrant who has at all been involved in the exploitation and sexual use of British girls, you're gone. If you're just on British welfare payments and you don't earn any money, you're gone. If you're in British welfare housing, you're gone. If you can't speak English, you're gone. I'm sorry, if I'm Steve Laws, I'm going to go, right, that is pretty close to what I want.
Yeah.
And for now, you can't ask any more than that of the country.
I mean, if like
more than you want, realistically.
If you want more, okay, there's a dozen little fringe parties with less than 100 members that you can go and join.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
this isn't anything new. We've had these like startup attempts of these totally pure parties. They go nowhere. Okay, so let's be a bit realistic about this.
Well, as I suggested before the stream to Mercia, go support patriotic alternative. They have not done very much, you know. You know, we've got nearly 1,900 viewers, guys. This is like easily the highest this stream has ever been. I think I'm going to do an anti-American tweet every weekend. Sorry, I'm joking.
Yes, let it flow through you.
I know. The weird thing is, guys, right, on my Discord, I end up defending Americans against Arian, but whatever. Whatever. But yeah, look, I've got great Americans on my Discord, including Don the Newt, who's ex-US Marine Corps combat veteran and a really good guy. And he's on my Discord. So, you know, I'm not anti-American at all, actually. But yeah, I don't know, guys.
I would say, like, there are the we're not voting ourselves out of this crowd. I can sympathize with that, but that line of thought is not going anywhere until you find a Napoleon or a Cromwell. And none of these guys are that great man of history. There's plenty of them with like 100 followers on Twitter who think they are. They're not. Yeah. Find that person. Okay, I'm on board. But yeah, you haven't done that yet.
I'd kind of say a Nelson or a Wellington rather than a Napoleon or a Cromwell.
Well, not really, because they didn't totally upend the social order, because we had a working social order with them.
Some of them kind of did.
I mean, Wellington could have just stormed in London and go, right, I'm king now. He had all that support, but yeah, that didn't.
Well, he made Catholics officially able to join the Royal Navy and the British Army. So there was that.
Not same, not exactly like Napoleon though, or Cromwell. I just mean, like, you know, the great men who completely changed society. That's what we like. Until that's the person that we need.
I think Napoleon was an arse, but okay. And
he changed history.
I don't like Cromwell.
No, yeah, I know, but they changed history. That's all that.
If you say so.
Napoleon's the reason that everyone drives on the wrong side of the road in Europe. That's Napoleon's doing that is.
Yep, absolutely. And the metric system, which is shit. Really shit. I hate it. Like, when someone says to me kilometers per hour, I just go, what the fuck is that? But if someone says 50 miles an hour, I know exactly what that is. But, you know, whatever. No, Napoleon was a shitbag. I'm sorry.
Well, okay, but it's called the Napoleonic era for a reason. He was quite an influential figure in history.
Until Wellington beat the shit out of him. Yeah, all right. Okay.
Jack would have a thing to say about
that. And also Nelson beat the shit out of him as well.
Mm-hmm.
He had to run away from his army in Egypt because his navy was all sunk.
I mean, the 100 days is pretty good, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And all of Napoleon's marshals and generals, they're all saying to him, Napoleon, we have fought Wellington and the British Army, and if he chooses a position, you're never going to get him out of it. And Napoleon just said, nah, you've all just lost to him, and you have no idea. He's just a stupid sepoy general. Didn't like it when they came to Waterloo. Didn't work very well for them, actually. British Army fucked them up big time. So, yeah, okay. I'm not a French fan, as you guys probably know.
Yeah. And also, Woodpit mentioned about some people just being addicted to black pilling, and you mentioned earlier in the week about that Blamblas guy.
Oh, British guys, British right guys. We just want to lose all the time.
There are the people like that who they will, if they had the choice to save everything, or everything be ashes and they be right, they'd pick that. The ashes. So they could just go, I told you, I told you so. That's all they want.
Yeah, all I want is for the real British Anglo-Celtic people to win. And I don't care if I'm right, wrong, or indifferent. But some of these guys, Graham, you're so right. All they care about is, I want to black pill everybody and we're all going to die.
Yeah, like I think the main ones like Blamblas and the gay tranny Scottish couple.
And
they're the main ones I can think of.
And the other dude, I can't remember what his name was. Who was it, Mercy? And I know you know who he is. I got so bored with that. And I'm sorry. Like, if you are a gay guy whose partner, in air quotes, is a bloke pretending to be a woman, I am not going to take you seriously as being on the right wing. And Blamblas, fuck you. Really. Scrump Monkey and Evelyn, yes, thank you. I've listen, Evelyn even once sent me a text on X, and I said, look, I wasn't rude, actually. I was not. I just said, look, I'm sorry, I can't deal with someone pretending to be a girl as being on the because you're not, you know. It's
listening to them's weird because it's clearly two men talking.
Exactly. And you know what? I kind of like John D. He's all right, but he doesn't pretend he's anything except gay, you know. Someone's saying real name Duncan. Yes, Alphabet Cat. I'm sorry, I can't deal with people like that and regard them as being on the right. Because
I mean,
how can you? You know?
I mean, even if they weren't like that, it's just being a doomer about everything is so pointless. It gets you absolutely nowhere. Blamblas, his stuff is like, oh, I'm educating like a future potential elite who will come in.
Farian, what do you reckon? He's about 27, 28?
He's 24. Blamblas is 24.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'm sorry. Don't care. Really.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
He's not right about so many things, but he also tries to say that Evelyn and this Scrump Monkey gay couple are also right about everything. And I'm sorry, they're not. They're just not. And they can't be because of who they are.
Yeah.
They just can't be because, you know, if I'm like bent as an eyeball note and my partner, in air quotes, is another bloke, I'm sorry, I'm a gay person, and everything that I do and think about everything is going to be because I'm gay. And then, you know, listen, I'm ambivalent about AA. Academic Agent had his day when he was quite good. Right? He did, mainly, to be fair, when John Dee kept him on the straight and narrow. And yes, that's a joke, by the way. But
so ironic.
yeah, that's a joke. I did it on purpose. Anyone clips this, clip that bit. But anyway, but yeah, but really, he's the son of an immigrant. He's the half-caste son of an immigrant, and many of his attitudes are because he's the half-caste son of an immigrant. Now, I wouldn't chuck him out, right? But some people would, you know.
I mean, he doesn't hate us as a people.
No,
like
no,
some
and
of
I
these
don't. I
half-castes
know,
do.
and I don't think he does. I don't think he does at all. And like I said, I wouldn't chuck him out. I wouldn't. That's not who I am. But most of these people have to go. They do. They have to go.
You can see like Blamblas, because he's having a bit of a spat with AA at the moment. And you can tell he's sort of like someone who's sort of like, I can give young people a bit of slack because every young person thinks they're smarter than they are. But he's like one of these ones who sort of, he's listened to some AA stuff clearly growing up. And he sort of thinks he's now the master. And like even AA is telling him, calm down a bit with this elite theory stuff.
Yeah, well, whatever. I listen. One of the things you realize as you get older, and I'm sure you are that's happening to you, Tharium,
every day.
And yeah, it is the older you get, the more you realize you're not as clever as you think you are. You know.
I hate that actually. That is starting to. I thought I was like a genius when I was a teenager. Like on par with Stephen Hawking.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
You're so right, Mercy. And like when you're 19 or something, you think, oh fuck me, I'm so clever, you know. And then you get to like 27, 28, and I'm not as clever as I thought I was. You get a 35 or what have you, and you really start to realize, okay, I have my limitations, you know. You do. It's how life works, basically, you know.
Like Mitch is, I think, very wise beyond his years. He's a very unusual 25-year-old.
Oh yeah, don't listen. I've always liked Mitch. Mitch is one of the most intelligent guys on the Discord, aside from like speaking about 6 languages and understanding Old English. But yeah, Mitch is great. He's a cool guy. I just hope he finds a good woman, and to be honest, that's what most men need, is they have to find a good woman, and that's increasingly difficult because
it doesn't help that
it
doesn't help that the online right is infested with gay people.
Yes, it doesn't. I agree.
I mean, that is a good point. You've mentioned some, but what?
Because you're kind of going against the natural order of everything.
Yeah.
And then in our society, being right wing is kind of also quite transgressive. is viewed as like you're going against, the system, and maybe there's some sort of correlation with that.
Is it like I forget which countries they do, but in Islam, if someone's gay, that they force them to transition.
That's Iran, yeah. Iran do that.
Well, and in Afghanistan, where the poor little 12 and 13-year-old boys are made into like sex slaves for the rich guys.
Yeah, I think that's just like a really low IQ sort of mind that can justify that somehow isn't gay. Because you're dealing with desert savages, 70 IQ desert savages. But
Muhammad had a sexual relationship with like 9-year-old, I think.
Oh, do you know the what's the chat will know? Who are the African people that Muhammad had gay sex with? It was like there's this one story in
I'm sure there were
the Hadiths.
many, but
there's this one story in the Hadiths where Muhammad goes out into the desert and he finds these men and he tells his companion, stay there, stay behind this circle that I draw in the sand. And then it talks about how these men rode Muhammad like a beast. It's like, oh, this is...
I don't know, guys. Listen, I really like women. I think women are gorgeous. I don't understand how any man is gay, to be honest. Like, men are not pretty, women are.
I think one of the other things that isn't talked about much is there is a big correlation with early childhood abuse and gay people. Like they were, as children, they were abused, and I think this can be like maybe this is like a sort of a part of like some sort of psychological coping mechanism to deal with that.
Yeah, maybe. I like I said, I just think I'd sooner be dead than live in a world without women, because women are the only cute humans, basically. I mean, all right, little kids are cute in the sense of they're nice, but like in terms of looking at humans and
in terms of like the sexual attraction,
only women. Like, women can be so drop dead gorgeous. Now, all right, I get it that most women are not very bright in terms of politics. They're not. They're just not, really. And if you listen to the mainstream media, you'll think all women want blokes to be like girls, which is not true at all. Like, you'll never get a girl if you're like, well,
that's feminist propaganda, because if they make men women, then they can one up them and treat them as servile.
Yes, absolutely, Mercian. The truth is, women, as I've said earlier on this stream, if you're walking around at 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night, a woman, if she's going to be with you, she wants to feel safe with you. And if she does, you'll be fine. But you've got to be a bloke, You've got to be a bloke. And of course, in Britain these days, we've got this ridiculous situation where tiny little girls, right, who, if they came anywhere near me, I could knock Sparko very easily. And I'm a bloke in my early 60s who's had a triple heart bypass operation. These girls will come and arrest you. British policewoman. And
have you noticed that?
To deal with it? I wouldn't be able to deal with it.
Have you noticed that these British police women, they seem to be getting even shorter?
And they get worse and worse. Yep.
I'm getting really tired now, but I think we should mention it. Do you want to quickly talk about that chap in Birmingham that got arrested?
Oh yeah, for sure, Mercy, and go for it.
Yeah, so so there's someone in the chat like I think an hour ago mentioned.
Yeah.
I forgot, but
he was attacked by 3 black people.
Yeah,
a tiny little British white cop girl came up and arrested him.
Yeah,
surprisingly.
I mean, the worst part about that is he went to attack her, but only because he thought he was defending himself against those 3 black men.
He was just getting up. It was as he was getting up. He kind of swings as he's getting up, just blindly.
Yeah. But she pins him up the wall, stuff like what you know, and then he's getting done for like he's still in fight mode because like I guess flight wasn't an option.
Well, he was outnumbered 3-1 before the cops turned up.
Yeah, but like they must have saw that he was hit round the head. Yet she still that progressive training or whatever bullshit they put in their heads went straight in. White person, the aggressor. We're going to arrest him straight away.
But Mercian, you or Farian or I could easily have like put that little girl on the floor easily.
Oh yeah.
Why are they using these pathetic chicks as
there was
women? Why are they doing it?
Like I said, there was this other clip of this person who wanted the police, and they're outside this van, and then out of this van jumps this. She's got to be like 4'8". This tiny little thing jumps out the van, and is, come on, what are we playing at now with this tiny little woman?
Yeah, you get to the
and
stage
they had
you get to the stage, Tharium, where you could just laugh at these police women.
I mean, they had that woman, that female police officer in the airport who got punched in the nose. She did an interview the other day.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. She was actually not uncute, I've got to say. But
it's like she just doesn't get it.
Doing the wrong job, but whatever.
Like she doesn't get it. Like she's all bought into this whole like shit about like women and men can do everything the same. And then her last line about I've got no idea what drove him to attack me like that.
Yeah, me neither.
Because he's an animal. Come on, love. Like
he's a Middle Eastern guy who doesn't regard you as human, really. Like he'd stick you in his harem, but nowhere else. You know.
What scares me is these are the people that are supposed to protect us against like all the violence that these people. They're going to take over. You know that, don't you?
Yeah. It's like, this is like, you're in a civilized country. You sign over the monopoly of violence to the state. This is the police. They're supposed to be, ideally speaking, this is how it's supposed to be. They handle the violence. They can't. So what is the point of them? I mean, like a lot of people just don't seem to bother reporting stuff to police about crimes anymore because it's just worthless.
There is a white pill. I can't talk about it, but me and Andrew were speaking about something that I can't talk about now. And all I'll say, if you can read in between the lines, is if the state is going to produce those sort of police, maybe what I was saying earlier, maybe we don't have to worry about it so much. Unfortunately, for anyone in the chat who's not previous to that conversation, I cannot repeat what I said. It cannot go out live. You're gonna have to kind of work out what I was trying.
We think, right, on this channel that men and women are exactly the same, and most 100-pound girls can beat up most 150-pound men. We just totally believe that.
Like that.
We're insane, but we're in favor of YouTube.
I've seen it in all the movies. I've seen women take out dozens of men that way.
Oh yeah.
Like
your 90-pound girl beating up your 220-pound bloke. That if you go out in real life, you will see that all the time. You know what? I've had girls, right, and not little girls, like I don't know, 5'9"
These police officers, yeah.
No, 5'9" nurses who were, I don't know, maybe 95 pounds, punch me in the chest and in the face and chuck vases at me. And I've just laughed at them because they're girls. And,
I mean,
you know, it's just amusing, basically.
Yeah. That airport policewoman, like she was saying, like about stuff like trying to de-escalate situations and stuff. And yeah, sometimes that's what you need. Other times, though, that's not an option. Like her attack at the airport, there was no de-escalating that. No like kind words from some nice little woman.
Do you remember?
It's just violence.
I assume
what she needed was the bloke who came in and stamped on the guy's head, because that was the only way to save her, basically. But all right.
Well, if you, I mean, I assume you saw the interview, and what she was saying about, like, I hope he realised what he did.
I know.
And think about what and has the empathy for me. Sort of like, what planet are you on?
Yeah. Oh, like he's going to come round and think, oh, I'm very sorry for that.
He would put her in his harem, naked in a collar, and beat her every day until she was good. All right? Just stop being stupid, women.
Total delusion. Yeah.
Yeah, just delusional bullshit, basically.
They did see there was one bit of good police news. And that is apparently they are reopening the investigation into the police who handled the Henry Novak stuff. How they fucked up. Because the police...
Yeah, they're gonna, like...
Well, they were sort of...
They're gonna chuck one guy under the bus to make
which is something.
Feel better.
Well, he should be punished. So
he'll be the dude. It won't be the girl.
Well, I think he was the main problem because he seemed to be
the guy who said, "I don't think." Yeah. All right, fair enough. But you know what? It's a con, Tharium. You know it is.
I know, but it's like we've got to take these breadcrumbs when we can. Like, okay, one little bit of justice. Okay.
All right. Okay. One guy gets it.
Yeah.
And fair enough. Like he was a cunt, but
also hopefully those gypsy lads who raped and tortured and filmed that girl that were let off by the judge. Apparently there might be some more action taken against them because it was just totally wrong that they were let off. So
yeah,
I mean, hopefully we can get those fuckers in prison. But
yeah, maybe we might be lucky. All right, guys, we've been going a very long time. Mercian, would you like to plug your channel?
I think he's asleep.
Oh, okay. Tharium, would you like to plug anything?
No, nothing for me. Just on Twitter.
All right. Mercian, would you like to plug your channel?
I have a channel, Mercian. Hopefully, we'll start some live streaming soon, but I don't know when that will be. Because it'd be great to get that started. But for now, most of my streamings are on this channel, and when it will be just a gaming channel, or when someone invites me onto their stream, I'll happily go on, and that's that sort of thing.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Guys, thank you. Also, go and check out Mitch's channel. Mitch yesterday did a good stream on the Battle of Gettysburg in the American Civil War. Go and check that out. And in the meantime, hopefully, we'll be back on Wednesday to talk about something historical. I can't believe we got nearly 2,000 viewers. But anyway, whatever. Go like the stream, guys, and if you want to support us, you can do so via Subscribestar for a whole $5 a month, and that's pinned at the bottom of the chat, so and in the description. Thank you very much to my guests this evening, Adaman and Mercian and Mitch and Tharium. Go well, gentlemen. And in the meantime, do not let the bastards grind you down. We'll check you in a few days. Go well.